Non-fungible idiots, don't you know? Banging our heads to the rhythm of the code. We don't care about dollars or the shiny blade. We're just holding to zero. It's our everything. Round tripping positions, that's how we roll. We won't make $1, won't sell a thing. We're the zero holders, on after we sing. Zero holders, on after we sing. Zero holders, we're the kings of the sea. And run for your body if you live in the tree. We're all on the zeros, our way to be. In the world of NFTs, we're wild and free.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hang on a sec, boy. Hang on. Give me a second. Let me do the song. Hang on. Fuck. No, whatever. We'll do this. We'll do this live. The PUMPFUN's not working. Dude, what? Oh, good morning. Happy Saturday. What even is it, dude? I'm lost today. October 18th. The beginning of the bull market. Just exciting shit ahead of us. Like, man. No, we need to talk, boys. We may need to reset. We may need to adjust the game plan a little bit. English is out here calling like, I mean, madman here. Alt season's coming. Buy the dip. No, I'm there. I'm there with you, English. By the way, good morning. Choina, good morning. CJ, good morning. Guys, I really want to get the PUMPFUN side rocking here. Hang on. Come on. Dude, when did this happen? Nothing crazy, but I didn't look. I don't look at this channel, and I should. This is like my baby, and I miss it. But decent views on that video. 1,800 views on like what, last Sunday? I think it's that thumbnail. Yeah, whatever. It was good. 1,800. Pretty solid. All right, do me a favor. Do the usual, right? Like the show. Subscribe over here inside NFTs. I just want to get the PUMPFUN thing going, and it's not working. And we might cut over there today. I don't even have an option to live stream. I don't like this, boys. I don't like that at all. All right, let me at least put on the screen so you can see. Yeah, we got to talk market today. Market talk, NFT talk, OpenSea treasure chest. How'd you guys do? I'll tell you what, I talked about it yesterday. English, you might like this, maybe not. Probably don't care. Weekday shows are kind of this show. Like the weekday show is just kind of turned into this. So you might like the weekday shows a little more. I know you didn't like the virtual stuff and whatever. It's kind of just this show, but daily. So yeah, I'll be honest, I'm there. But today I'm going to actually tell you why, and we did it yesterday. And I want your guys' help here. I want you to convince me in English. I want you to convince me why maybe still the most exciting part isn't ahead of us. Why the next year might not be incredible. Might. But so we're going to put together a list of like why I think next year is going to be pretty awesome, and this year still too. And I want to hear why it's not, and why it really is over, and why even the camp that's saying it's over, We're 80% of the way there. Most of them are still saying we're probably going to hit an all-time high, and there's a chance we don't. But I want to make the case. I think we got to put together both sides of this thing. Why don't I have an option to stream here? Is anybody else streaming? Do we got people? It looks like they're streamers. Yeah, I don't know what's up here. CJ, how you feeling about stuff? CJ's my good. CJ's pretty level-headed here. All right, I should have like a live stream option right here at the top. Am I missing it? Here, let's disconnect, reconnect. Boom. 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 There it is. Okay. Damn it. Sorry, guys. Oh my fucking Lord. All right, we're good. We're good. We made it. Okay, I think finally we're good. Live on Abstract X, YouTube, PUMPFUN. PUMPFUN dudes probably don't like that you're, when you're in multiple spots. To that, I say you're wrong. You're wrong, boys. No, get everywhere. Everywhere. The more people that get a chance to see the thing and get a chance to come back to the token and all that stuff, whatever. But no, it's totally cool being in multiple spots. And then at some point you do exclusive PUMPFUN streams. So that's what you do. That's what you do. Let's see. We're starting to get some takes here. All right, I don't want to spoil some of our talk today. Dude, I'm really bullish on Yuga Labs all of a sudden. Lowering interest rate, quantitative easing means everyday people have more money. Dude, it's brutal out there too. It's brutal. Like, I don't go shopping, so I don't really have a clue. And then this week, my wife bought some sodas, and I'm like, don't fucking buy sodas. She's like, but they were on sale. They were $5.99. Like, what the fuck do you mean they're on sale and they're $5.99? Like, what the? But I haven't been in the store in like 20 years. That's probably not true, but right, I don't buy shit. I had no idea sodas, like a 12-pack of sodas, like $10. Am I crazy? Guys, is that real? Like a 12-pack of sodas, like $10? That's fucking insane. I would have thought they're like maybe $5. Because I remember I worked at a grocery store when I was like a teen, long time ago. But like I would get like they had 10 for 10 sales, right? Now a 12-pack is $10. That's crazy, dude. People have no money, and that's what makes what happened last Friday even worse. It does, because, dude, unbelievable. It's what makes Friday even worse is because we've had it better than most people, and we have, and like, man, sometimes we don't appreciate it because this has become normal for us. We've been doing this for years, and it's normal. Like, it's normal. It's normal any given day to make a couple $100, and that's actually not much. It's normal every few days, maybe every month, once a month, that you make a few $1,000. Like, that's normal. We're so not used to like the real world. But last Friday, I think, did break something here, or it's maybe not quite that it broke something. I think it exposed some stuff, like the Libra scandal kind of exposed some stuff. I think it exposed a bit of the power of market makers. Nothing shocking, but it really showed us that. It does look like market makers maybe took the Friday news as like cover to like withdraw some of their money, withdraw some of their crypto, right? I don't know what they put back in. I don't know how we measure that. I don't know where we can check that. Flows, right? Inflows, outflows on exchanges. I guess you could probably look at tokens and see how much liquidity they have. I guess. I don't know. I mean, you could follow the market maker wallets and see what coins they're holding too. You could do it. But I wonder if this is like market makers de-risking ahead of what? Maybe they're thinking the end isn't here, but it's coming, and so get some of their money out because they're not looking to lose. It's really interesting. But what I know is so many people impacted last Friday. And while we had it better than most, and maybe it's not as tight for us in the everyday, well, I think for a lot of us, it actually is. And Friday probably made that a lot worse. That a lot of the like play money you had is gone. And it hurt the market so much that even the play money you have, I don't think you want to spend it right now. I don't think anybody's going to spend this till anybody is sure about what way we're going here. But I'm going to bring up a doc. I want to make some categories or columns or whatever. I want to put what is so bearish right now that we think it's over, and then what's so bullish. I have a lot of bullish stuff, dude. I do. I have a lot. And most of it's coming next year, but this year, next year, there's a lot. Again, interest rates, quantitative easing. Jerome Powell spoke about that just this past week. That's happening. Both of them. English, I would go lower than 90. Wait. Did Choina say 90? By the way, Alzar, good morning, man. Thank you for that. Bitcoin ladder buy orders are at 95 down to 90. Won't be shocked if we get there. It's why I'm not buying anything right now. I'm not. Even if I think some stuff may be on discount, I'm not buying right now because I still think we've got another something coming. Maybe. Now there's something that just like last Friday, not as bad, but maybe knocks us right down to, upper 80s, low 90s. And then I'll feel really confident at that point. Gold doing what it's doing is great for us, to be honest. We talked last week, too, that maybe the worst thing happening out there is something going on with banks. I'm not going to tell you I understand it. Maybe we'll grok it, see if we can wrap our heads around it. But the worst thing is the dollar actually is strengthening. Not great. CJ might have some thoughts about that. I got to get CJ on here at some point. It would be awesome. But the dollar is not weakening. It's doing the opposite. That's not what we need. Gold stabilizing now, too, pulling back a little, too. There will be a rotation to Bitcoin. I believe that. I do. English, lower than 90. People Stratford. Dude, in like big time, dude. Big time. Is that China buying gold? Because, right, there's this big look, U.S.-China trade war. Talk about China-U.S. decoupling. Would be awful. Actually, let me see if I have this post up. Let's find this here. Yeah, here we go. Don't know. I just take random X posts and I'll run with it because why not? Right? But also that's wild. For the first time I can remember, I removed a few items from my shopping basket. That's crazy, man. Yeah, we do it all the time. All the time. I mean, like, dude, my wife was telling me, she's like, we got to get to Sam's Club. We haven't done our like essential shopping in like weeks, and like we can't right now. Like we can't. Because the money I have that's stabled up, I don't want to spend it. I mean, we need essential. If we need essentials, we'll do it, right? But I want it to go gamble because I'm that confident about when this bounces back. You want to be ready for it. You absolutely want to be ready for it. But we're there, and that's not good. And that's not good for how big things can still get. We'll see. CZ missed a good portion of the bull in jail. He shows up to steal everybody's money. Dude, the Aster thing is wild. This does feel. It could look coordinated, right? It could look pretty coordinated with what happened here. I like this chat, by the way. Yeah, I have trouble seeing if in the 80s we're fucked. I get short term not great, but also this is where I start thinking stability starts coming and the bounce backs happen faster. And it's like my whole view of the market is just it's changed. The market's it's different now. Like Ray again earlier this week, I said it's just you got to recognize the market is not the same. The cycle's not the same. And opportunities they're not quite the same. They come faster and they come more often and they're not as big. Not to say you're not going to have big opportunities that come frequently, but it's just different. Litecoin. Why not? No, this is where it gets interesting. If you want to talk altcoins, and we probably should mention them, I'm not super optimistic about altcoins in general because I've always bought into the. You're going to think this is crazy, maybe. I've always bought into the Marad thesis. I'm there. I'm there. I'm with meme coins still getting bigger. I don't know about this cycle still. I'm the 5-year guy. By 2030, but meme coins keep growing. Altcoins are meme coins. You could put them all in the same basket if you want. But I'm not convinced we see all-time highs in all these altcoins. I'm seeing plenty of good takes and breakdowns about why they won't. I can get there. Dad, good morning, man. Um, yeah, I like that, CJ. Yeah, I'm right there. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see how we can be in a bear market yet. When the rate cuts are coming, when there's what? I mean, Powell said what? The end of quantitative tightening. Did he use those exact words? He might have. But yeah, I have trouble seeing bear. Now, big old X factor you can't even count on is the trade war, Trump, China, U.S. China stuff. I don't know, but yeah, this is interesting. If it is China buying up the gold, multiple people saying it is, so I trust you guys. Right, I'm just going to assume that's what's happening. China's buying up gold. They're not buying up Bitcoin. Interesting. Do you think there's a chance? We had so much hopium that the U.S. moves to like really full throttle crypto, right? Full throttle crypto. Bitcoin strategic reserve still is there. Is still happening. I don't know if we're going to be buying Bitcoin. And that's the biggest thing missing right now. One of. What if we see like a race to buy up Bitcoin to, in a way, outmaneuver China? If these markets, if these economies really decouple, dude, maybe. I don't know. Best guess is China's doing the financial reset that we said we were going to do, and I think a lot of people thought that if we were really doing that, and that's through tariffs, but also I thought through crypto, hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. That's a big black swanny type thing. That's the thing that can kill this market too, for sure. If we don't do those things, if we right, if we're not full throttle crypto and we must regulate it and move to crypto in a way, if that doesn't happen, if that was all words, yikes, man. Doesn't change long term what I think happens for crypto, but short term, it sure as shit does. And in the meantime, the Trump family's made what, $1 billion from crypto in the past year? Crazy. That's cool, China. Hey, none ya. What we're all trying to figure out, right? I I think a very short term thing is happening now. We'll see with this. Who knows? Who freaking knows? Now, uh, Trump and Xi are meeting what in 2 weeks. So we have that coming. They are talking. There will, I'm assuming, be a deal made, but also who the fuck knows? Who knows? Nope, nobody knows anything. This here, let me pull up the market. Let's go to CoinGecko. This could be over in an instant. This could be over tomorrow. Over is in fixed in an instant. Takes one tweet, one announcement, one deal, one whatever, right? Market move because of words and then some manipulation here. Didn't China discover a mass amount of gold in one of their regions? I don't know, Elzar. Bitcoin at 107. Nice to see that. Are we gonna finish October down? Where did we start October? Okay, we started October at, let's just say 116, 115. Yeah, let's do 100, 114. Are we going to finish October down? What? Just under 2 weeks to go. I don't know. 107 right now. ETH at 38. BNB, 1100. Ripple 238. Solana 186. Yeah, Nunya. Again, the theory that that was used as cover for like some market manipulation, like it just makes more sense. There's good breakdowns about what really happened. Like for sure, it caused some panic selling. Like it happened in the stock market too. But here in crypto, it was like a very Binance thing that was that kind of happened there. And the timing of the perp dex thing coming up and Aster coming on scene and KOLs getting paid to shill that thing, pretty sus, man. Pretty freaking sus. So yeah, I don't buy that this is just an organic thing and a reaction to Trump. I don't buy it. Let me peek at ETFs yesterday. I'm glad NFTs are kind of fun right now. You know, they are. I'm saying kind of fun. Like the OpenSea stuff, I think I think they did fine. So much fun about that. People are nuts here. Let me see. Yesterday, 22 million. Wait. What am I on? Bitcoin ETFs. Oh, wrong column. There we go. 366 million outflows yesterday. Dude, our worst week for the ETFs in like months. Wow. Yeah, easily. Easily. 4 out of 5 days last week. Outflows there. ETH probably looking similar, probably. Yeah, 232 million outflows. Solana hasn't been following the other two big boys. Let me see. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw inflows Friday. And we did. There we go. 11 million inflows on Solana. Okay. Yeah, NFT's kind of fun, man. I like the OpenSea thing. I like the farming. I like the whatever. The rewards were like, eh. I didn't do it though. I didn't farm. I didn't do anything. But nobody was really happy other than I think a couple people like, got the punks. Couple people. I don't know. Um, yeah, gold is very, very interesting. We'll say that, but I don't know. Kook thinking this is the bottom. Maybe actually, Kook goes back and forth. Like, now, this is the kind of stuff you just can't believe. I don't know. Not getting financial advice from Kook, but I'm reading what he's saying, and he's calling it's over, and then it's not over, and this is the bottom, and it's not the bottom, and whatever. But it feels kind of bottomy. It kind of does. Tariffs are not going to stand. I think that's kind of obvious. Stop using Binance when CZ stepped down. Seems pretty shady. Like this week was super interesting too. Like Coinbase first, Binance right over listing fees. That was one of the biggest stories this week. Binance is what, like $1 million fees, and they want 10% of your token supply. Like, it's a pretty fun week for stories here. But look, I don't think we've seen like casualties from Friday yet, and I still don't understand where banks come into play here, because I think we saw right around Friday, might even been just before, but regional bank stocks were falling. Again, this is probably CJ's territory. I don't know what's going on there. I don't. It's unrelated, but it feels related because the timing's kind of interesting. But look, 20 billion liquidated, and some people saying 40 plus billion liquidated. I don't think we've seen the impact. There were some tweets out there from like reputable dudes saying like they heard some platforms or funds or whatever got liquidated too. And I don't think we've heard who. Unless I've missed it, I don't think we've heard who. So I still am expecting some casualties, like maybe some big ones, as a result from the past week here. So do we expect, like, Peter Schiff's a goofball, but do we see in the industry here bankruptcies, defaults, layoffs, that kind of thing? My gut kind of tells me, yeah. Ooh, can we play it? Guy, we need to play this. Totally unrelated, but we need to play it. And the content's on fire right now. Just everybody on crypto Twitter is getting so good. Dude, so good. Hang on, I can't hear it. Hang on.
You gotta go and greedy on every fucking Solana deep. You know I try, but I don't do well with this fucking PUMPFUN buys. I hope my wallet don't crash. Can someone this fucking phantom? Cause I just need more short and staking soul for APY. I know you know that I fall more on those days, maybe once or twice. If I once or twice, I maybe a couple of 100 trades. So let me unstake my soul tonight. Cause I just need more short and pump on fucking airdrop. Yeah, is it too late not to say so sorry? Cause I'm missing more than just your blockchain. Oh.
So good. Wow. All right, Marty, hang on. It's dead. Exiting next punk listed. There we go. I'm gonna wait till ordinal season 2030. I'm probably just bag holding all my ordinals. I am. I'm okay with that. It's fucking amazing. That video is amazing. I'm probably holding my ordinals till next time around. I'm not expecting an alt season. I think Bitcoin keeps going up. I just think it keeps going up. With pullbacks too, but like I think Bitcoin just keeps going up. And I think ICM, it's like look, if I say internet capital markets, don't think like Launchcoin, Believe, whatever. I'm just going to use that name for like platforms or builders coming in and launching a coin that's like tied to their project. I don't think that ever stops. I don't know why it would. It doesn't mean it's going to be a huge thing or that you're going to win all the time. I look at Virtuals as an ICM platform, and there's wins there all the time. I'm not expecting it. I think they still have room, right? I think some of those altcoins will see all-time highs, but I'm not convinced. Like, I think altcoins are just meme coins. I don't expect an altcoin season. If it happens, awesome. Won't surprise me. I think this market can get really hot really quick and be awesome for quite a bit longer, but expecting it, no. I am expecting Bitcoin to keep going up. I am. Like 140, 150, 200 is still in play this cycle. I'm way less sure about that now, right? Way less sure. But like living up and in a new all-time high kind of range and like staying there, and yes, pullbacks, but also again getting back. I think so. As in Ethereum too. Yeah, ETH is tricky, dude. Like, I don't know how we see any more buy pressure on ETH than with like digital asset treasuries buying it up and still not being able to break 5K. ETH is tricky, man. And if the idea was like all these like big names would be coming in and building on ETH, they're just launching their own chains. They're launching L2s off ETH, right? They're like, yeah. I'm not. I like ETH a lot. I just don't. I don't know. Man, I would not want to list a punk though. Like but different. I would be collecting. I would just hold it forever. But I get it. If you're here to make money, list that bad boy. Look, I think we'll see another all-time high for punks, like this cycle, all-time high, right? I'll say this, dude. Crypto is not fun anymore. It's not fun, and it hasn't been fun pretty much this whole cycle. It hasn't been fun. I don't like what it turned into, and also it shouldn't be surprising what it turned into at all. Yeah, dude. But we knew that. We knew that last cycle. We knew when more people came in and when like we knew when the different kind of buyers come in that it would change things, that we would lose control and whatever. Right? It's happened. It's different. It's not fun. The innovation we're seeing here is so far not that innovative, and it's not fun. The fun stuff is like, look, when it's hot, meme coins are fun because it's gambling. That's fun. NFTs are still wicked fun, but there's not a lot happening. It's just not a lot. Yeah, it's just not that fun now. And it doesn't mean fun stuff can't come back and won't come back and whatever. And I think it does. And I think it does this cycle. And I kind of think it does within a few weeks here. But how long it lasts and all that's what we don't know. Marty, yeah. Now it's just Trump tweet, insider trading. Yeah, dude, yes. Yep. Yeah, English. What's the saying? If you're EV plus, then it's not not gambling. Is it trading? What is it that is it Easy says it or PO or who said it? Like it's a good take. Oh no, it wasn't either of them. It was the other guy on their show. Investing. It's investing if you're EV plus. It's gambling if you're down or you're just rolling the dice on shit. But yeah, that's fair. I like that take still. I also like this dude's take, OG General. Like what happened here, like last Friday especially. But the setup was crazy. Free tokens, call it community rewards, KOLs hyping up. Let's use Astra as the example. Fake pump. Everybody's getting in, finally making money. There it is. Gambling is participating in EV negative activities with the hope of big returns. Yeah. Fake pumps, kill switch. Yeah. And this was Friday. That was Friday. Billions evaporated. I mean, this was that was Friday. And by the way, I hope everybody knew that was coming. That was a really obvious thing to be happening or to come. Marty moved out of ETH to USDC. Hey, dude, Marty, that's awesome. I think that's the best way to be playing this right now. Prediction markets are easier. They're just easier. They're different because you know you can't have an edge there if you know what you're betting on. Absolutely. Prediction markets are the way to go. They are. What's Beanie saying? Bitcoin should outperform everything else in crypto over the next year, but probably still trades down. Interesting. There's too much leverage. Leverage, hype, and false narratives. And this is interesting too, but has the DAT model broken? It might have, but don't know. Cats, everybody's saying it. Prediction markets are like the biggest, most obvious and fun thing. Like they're fucking awesome, man. And more, I think you'll just see people going out, there and grinding out like I always say smaller wins, but they don't have to be small. But you get the point. Like they can be smaller and they can be easier and they can be slower and but also there's fast stuff and big stuff and whatever. But it's a different energy and it's a different pace. I like him, man. James Wynn saying the next 72 hours is going to be a bloodbath for crypto. I wouldn't listen to anything James Wynn says, right? Oof. Cat sports stuff. If you're leveraged long, you'll get liquidated. Avoid perps. Like, dude. Okay. I don't follow James. Actually, am I even following him? I am actually, but I don't listen to him and I don't see his tweets ever. Does anybody listen to this guy ever? Like at all? That guy just tweets shit, right? I don't think there's anything behind anything he says. That said, I'm still worried we get one like another big old dump here for no good reason. I have no idea, but it doesn't feel. I don't feel that there's buyers out there right now. I don't feel that at all. And I don't think they're going to come back quickly either. Time here's different, right? So quickly is like today, tomorrow, the next week. But if we do get a little, a sustained rebound and recovery, a little bit of what we're seeing now, but it's not enough, dude. I think we got to see Bitcoin back to I don't know, almost all-time high. I don't know. We got to be closer to 120, maybe even higher I think for people to have confidence to get back in. And I don't think that's enough too. I think we need to see more. Yeah, dude. I think he just puts words out there. I don't think he even believes that, by the way. I think it's just shit posting. Also, I like when they're super bearish. I like it. Yes, dude. Yes. There you go. Yeah. I don't believe anything he says. Again, I still expect a dump. I still expect, look, I don't think we're moving markets, obviously, but for people like us to get back in, it's going to take more than just this little rebound, and it's going to take more than a week. But like, I think in November, we're talking all-time high again, if not at all-time high. And maybe November, we're at like, I don't know, 135, 140, right? I still see that as pretty likely. But again, I think it's weeks before we start chucking money at stuff. Good example. Really good example this week, and the timing of it was really bad, but you guys saw the Dutch Tide NFT mint, right? Great artist, and he's got the hype. That was a really hyped NFT mint, and he's got all the backers. He's got people like Claire Silver tweeting him and Pranksy and like big names. So he launched an NFT collection. Of course, the market was ass and like was dumping during that, but his collection came out. He sold within the first 24 hours 200 editions of his NFT. It's a 3,000 edition collection. He sold 200. Like literally showing that, look, I think people have some money, right? We've got some liquidity to work with, but not much, and we're not ready to spend it yet at all. There's no confidence. Like I always say, you'll start spending and you'll start buying and whatever when you think, not even think, when you believe that it's coming tomorrow or today you're getting more. You're going to make more somewhere else, and tomorrow you're going to make more, and that it's going to be easy. That's when you're going to start parting with your money. When you think easy stuff's on, coming. Nobody thinks that right now, man. If you buy that Dutch Tide mint, if you buy that NFT, you're stuck with it for probably months or weeks. Well, let me say weeks. We know you'll know you're stuck with it for weeks. Nobody wants to be stuck right now. And that applies to meme coins, and it applies to all the crypto majors and alts and like everything. You're not buying anything right now because you have no idea if you're going to be up in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And you're probably leaning towards you're going to be down, so you're not spending anything right now. So again, point there is if Bitcoin gets back to, I don't know, if we slowly grind back up to 110 and 11 and 12 and 15, I don't even think that's enough to get us spending again. Ooh, yeah, dude, Marty. Yeah. What are those at right now? Those kind of quickly. Okay, those Quinn or Quine or whatever minted at 7.5, fell to 4 ETH on secondary, and then bounced back up to 9. A few days later, they're at 6.4 right now. Okay, so under mint, and they should grind lower too right now. So yeah, dude, it's interesting. So right now, I lean what James was saying. I lean that way short term. I think there's a big old I just feel like there's another crash looming for no good reason. It might be the opposite. It might be some weird random announcement. We giga pump. I don't know, but I lean towards what he says short term. Next few weeks, I think we're grinding up and maybe up decently. And then November, I think, is going to be an awesome month, and December. And the next year, I think, super interesting too. I want to get to where we start making our case for why. But I'm pretty freaking bullish still for the next. I mean, nothing's changed in the time frame. 6-8 months. To Yank. What's up, man? Very good to see us. Why did GMs pop up all that? I don't get that. Hang on, what are we looking at? We're looking at Bitcoin Gold here. Bitcoin, Mike Bennett, good morning. Okay, we're looking at, Bitcoin US dollars. Okay, 2015 to 2017, and then boom, here's 2023 to 2025, and then boom. They're just charts. That'd be cool though. That'd be fucking cool. I hope. I fucking hope. Keyboard Monkey, smart guy. I don't know. He's one of those guys that he has to take, and I usually lean the other way. He's a smart guy though, so I don't know. But Bitcoin heading back to 85K range over the next 6 months. Like, again, I can see that, but also I lean way, way, way heavily more towards the other side. I really do think higher highs from here. Also, he still brings up a good point. But I'm not with him. Hang on. Oh, good old Carlini. What do you guys think? 140K or 185K first? Here, let's do a poll. 104. Let's do 130. No, let's do even 130. 130 or hang on, we'll do a poll for it. 130 or 85K comes first. I don't know why that got me thinking Two-Face from The Dark Knight. I watched that yesterday. What a movie, dude. Okay, 130K. And then 85K. Boom. Interesting. And so, Choina, then that's a Monday thing. I wonder if that's where James Wynn is getting his, his take comes from. But yeah, I think we've learned to, you start getting the experience, whatever. You start learning to trade differently. Trading, when things feel like now, right? Isn't this where people have made their fortunes? Isn't it? What happened Friday isn't a black swan event. Last Friday, it still isn't, but it's one of those things. Normally, right? We've learned to maybe buy those. It's different when you're at the end of a cycle and when it feels like it's changed like our course here a bit. I just don't think it has. I don't think it has. I think it's changed just a little, but I don't think it's changed our direction yet. We need something else to happen. We need something else, and it might be those bankruptcies and layoffs and projects calling it quit. It might be that. But I think we need something else as like confirmation that Friday was much more than it was. But still, like I think CBE, he had a post too saying that it feels like something fundamentally broke last Friday. Again, something did change there, but I'm not ready to say yet that this is over. I don't think it is. All right, so let's do this. By the way, my favorite story of the week. Not even close. My favorite story of the week was PayPal minting $300 trillion in their stablecoin. Favorite story in a long time. Love that shit. Just so good. And dude, how fucking crazy that I'm like bullish on Yuga Labs right now. I was hoping for that, but I never would have thought that would actually happen. But I'm bullish on Yuga Labs. Hang on, let's get an easy post up here. Again, I agree. Easy's awesome, man. I agree with his take. We're running back the tariff playbook. We are. Although the China things are a little X factor. China's different. The China thing is different. That could go any way. We could resolve that, or China's like decided, no, it's go time for us. We've got our game plan, decoupling, whatever, right? Yeah. Good old Marty. Trump is already saying tariffs won't be as severe as noted. He even said they won't happen. It's exactly why I think the bottom on the majority of risk on assets is much closer than the timeline wants to believe. I'm with him, dude. I'm with him. I think it's very close. I don't know that was. I mean, here's the thing. Nobody knows. I don't feel like what happened Friday and then up till like yesterday It's very bottomy now, but I don't know that it's the bottom. I mean, nobody's going to know, but I don't believe it's the bottom. I don't think it is. I still think we have something else. It just feels that way. If we have a week and a half now for this China-US meeting, it feels like the war of words still gets ramped up over the next, week and a half. It feels like that would just make sense to me. I'm expecting more headlines, more Trump tweets, more something. I'm expecting casualties from last Friday. I'm expecting something else that maybe does take Bitcoin under 100. Maybe does take it. I'm still kind of expecting something like that. But I do think this is close to the end, and it's whatever happens next. To me, that would, for me, definitively be the bottom. And I think we're quick up to the next all-time high. What the fuck does this mean, Marty? Hang on. The other side is a cobble of stick, reference to hell. I am so lost, dude, but I like it. And I want to understand that. Trump first-term tariff situation. Where is this right? Wait, where is this? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I could buy that. I buy it. I buy it. That's just it's how I feel. It's just how I feel. Ooh. English, do you know anything about this? Inscription number 1, traded, sold, whatever. And did Chip buy it? I'm real curious. Strategy token's not looking great. They're not looking great, but someone here is going to give me shit for this. If we're trying to time the bottom, feel the bottom of this market right now, and we're looking for opportunities for when we bounce back, I think it's in those strategy tokens. I think there's some easy plays there. I know people are saying that meta is done. I don't believe that for a second. Although the strategy tokens have like a harder road ahead, like those can't get exchange listings. I was thinking about that this morning, right? Punkster could. None of the other ones can unless an exchange like market buys them. I think market buys them and then, they're traded off chain, right? But you can't transfer those tokens on chain, so they can't really. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they can get exchange listings. But also, we'll get to this in a bit too. It's a battle of let me check Vibester. It's a battle of centralized exchanges versus DEXs. DEXs are going to win. So maybe it doesn't matter. I think strategy tokens are a very interesting opportunity right now. Right now. They're low. Punkster got to like 60 mil, 55 mil. We'll peek at that in a second. And I like Punkster a lot. And Vibester I like a lot. And we had a new one launch yesterday. We got Chimpster. I think big opportunity there too. And World of Women has one coming as well. And I wouldn't be so bullish on that personally, but also they've got like interesting connections too. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't bet on that one, but also I'm watching. But Chimpster I like, Vibester I like, and Painster I think is on discount now. Painster I still believe that could be $1 billion coin this cycle. Like, I still think that kind of stuff is in play. I'm not convinced that what happened in the past week means that stuff's over. I don't believe that yet. It's possible. I'm like 50-50 right now. Maybe that's my biggest change in the past week. If the past week didn't happen, I would say, yeah, no, Punkster could definitely go to $1 billion. You're right. I wouldn't bet that it would, but I'm saying it could. Now I'm a little less sure that we have that kind of market ahead of us. We might. But if so many people think that the end is very near, you're not parking in stuff long term. Now I'm watching for anything to fundamentally change, maybe. But even now, I still believe Punkster still has a 5x in it. It can get, if it's 50 mil right now, can it get to 250? Yes. I think so. I still think the market will give us that based on what I'm seeing today. But I'm less sure about the $1 billion thing, right? Dude, I would love to find out if Chip got that. I might message and see. I'm real curious. Like, Chip's got money. I'm curious. Chip's who I got the Node Monk from. It's a good dude. I'll come back to that. Interesting. Stripe's Temple blockchain raised 500 mil at a 5 bill valuation. This is the stuff that we thought was going to be, you know, this will be on ETH. This will be on ETH. And it's not. I mean, it's on an ETH. It might be ETH-L2, but it's not a mainnet chain, right? It's not on Ethereum. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Here, let's look at those strategy tokens. Real curious. Real curious. Yeah, I think they got opportunities there. Dude, I was thinking too, I said earlier, I would just hold ordinals till next cycle. I think they got a pump in them this cycle, but, you know, I just like collecting shit. I was thinking about the cyber Kongs, right? They have a new thing where you can evolve your babies, and I'm not evolving mine because when you evolve it, you have to burn your baby, right? You lose it. You keep the image, but you burn the token. And I'm like, I don't want to burn my token, right? I like the timestamp. I want the, you know, like I want the original NFT in my wallet here. What's wrong with that, English? I'm trying to feel out like the extremes. Like, do I think that still is a possible thing? Yeah. You're not going to bet that Bitcoin can go to 400K in a bear market. Like, you're like, it's not even possible right now. It's a fine take. You don't get it. Punkster, yeah, 58 mil. Yeah, Vibester bounced back nicely. Interesting. 8 mil. Where's Chimpster? 2.2 mil. And I do like Chimpster. Yeah, I like those NFTs too. Like, pretty good. Ooh, I like that, dude. That's a good prediction. Here's another thing I say that you'll love, English. I always say, like, something will, what is it? How the fuck do I say it? I need to make sure I got it right. Something will surprise me but not shock me. It might be the other way around, but like that's one of those things. I wouldn't be shocked if Punkster doesn't hit another all-time high, but it would surprise me. Meaning I think it will. Which was why, how high did it get? Was it like 270? How high did Punkster get? It got pretty high. How fucking high did that get? 290. Yeah, dude. Okay. No, I'm with you there. I could make, yeah, I'm not confident it will. I'm not confident it gets back to 290 mil. It could. I'm not very confident. A week ago, I may have made that bet, right? I'm still in that place. It depends what the platform does because it's a platform token. I'm like, if that platform keeps growing and if the market keeps not just like, you know, grinding up, but if we get like back to grind and then pump and then live up there and then more pump, like if we get to like a very exciting part, banana zone resumes, right? If we get to that, that's the scenario where I see Punkster. That's where billion Punkster is in play. Platform grows, people are loving the things, more tokens come out, growing the user base, and the market's just awesome. That's where it could have happened. I'm not sure right now at all. I wouldn't make that bet. That we see an all-time high. It could happen. But yeah, what I feel now is that $1 billion token. I don't feel that right now at all. So all-time high could happen. Not sure I'd bet on it. But billion, I think for me, that's out for right now. And we'll see what changes over the next, months here. Now, Vibester, this is why I think they're interesting plays still. So if Punkster doesn't have another all-time high, so that's like, what, a 5x from here. I still think Punkster's got a 2x, 3x in it. That I feel, that's a bet I would probably make. But I would make that bet on Vibester. I think Vibester's where I'd look for that 2, 3x. And where I think you still can have a 10x here. Could. I think Vibester, if we get silly, I think Vibester can get to Like if we get silly, like it has to get silly again. And I think it does get silly again. But I could see Vibester at 50 plus mil. Have to get to, almost 80, 90. That's harder to see. But 50 mil for Vibester if we get silly, I actually think so. I think this is the safer. I think this one's the safer bet out of the two. Vibester to what? Yeah, again, 30 mil, 50 mil, whatever. I think Vibester can do that if we get back to good stuff. And I do think we're going to get back to good stuff. So I like, out of all of them, I think I like Vibester the best. I don't think it's even close. It'll get interesting when, I think it's a when, but they start doing the fungible token strategies. I think that's interesting. I've got to see how they play out. It's another scenario where it's like, okay, on paper sounds good. On paper, I can also see how it fails. Got to see how it plays out. So like a Pepe stir or, right, any of those could get interesting. Like I'm watching. I'm watching. This one's tricky though, dude. Like really, really not a great market. I don't know that there was anywhere you could get in here. We could math it out. I'm not gonna. I don't know if there's anywhere you would have gotten in with Chimpster and actually been up. So like if I just do what I had been doing in it, 200K market cap, ballpark, 95% tax, like you're even right here. You're not up. I'm not seeing many spots here unless maybe you bought here at 2 mil and you're out when it pumped it, 2.5. I'm not seeing anywhere you would actually be up on Chimpster. There could have been some real specific spots, but I don't think anybody was up on Chimpster. The play here is, might be you're buying here and you're hoping we pump and, this gets to 6 mil, 10 mil, maybe, right? There's upside on Chimpster for sure. So I'd watch that. But yeah, I think safest bet, Vibester. I heard too, Vibester changed the NFT relisting part, right? Instead of listing 1.2x higher, it's now 1.1x, so just 10% higher. We'll see if that helps, hurts, whatever. I'm not sure, but they earn royalties on NFT sales, so it helps the project for sure. But yeah, I see opportunities there. All right, who did this? I might do this live actually. ETH gas. The great gas reckoning is live. Turn your gas legacy into beans. Is beans a fungible token? Is that like a meme coin? Generate your gas ID, claim bonus beans. Is that a token that you can sell right now? Beans fuels your path to a gasless future. Interesting. I might do that. I want to see how much I've spent on my my old main wallet. I don't think it's crazy. It's probably like 10 ETH. Which is actually, I mean, even that's crazy. We're talking like 40 grand or something. Yeah, if I don't have to link my wallet, I might just do that. If I can just paste it in and check. Marty, what was the spaces? Oh, OpenSea space. No, I didn't. I saw their tweet about the C token and stuff. I like what they said, to be honest, but. So, by the way, this is safe per quit. Maybe legit. Safe to connect. Don't get your hopes up. Just meaning there's no payday here. It's pointless, but I might connect just to see how much gas I've spent. It's not nothing. Also, how about that? Nothing burger? That might be nothing, but also, I don't know. Mr. Beast files trademark to offer Bitcoin and crypto services. There's new venture, Mr. Beast Financial. Like, this stuff doesn't move the needle anymore, man. Dude, nice, CJ. Dude, awesome. Wait, are you being a smartass? Did you actually? I hope you did, but. What was lame about the spaces, guys? Maybe I'll pull this up. I like their announcements. I don't hate how the rewards went. I know everybody's fudding it. Dude, there's too much to talk about. Okay. I'm still trying to figure out if Chip bought that inscription number 1. I'm also trying to figure out who the hawk is talking about here. A founder in the Bitcoin ecosystem raised what? A couple million bucks and boogied. I don't know why my head instantly goes to ordinals, but also he didn't say ordinals. He just said somewhere in the Bitcoin ecosystem. But I wonder what that is. God of Thunder. Good morning, man. Over on Abstract. Chests were weak, dude. They were. They want to be a portfolio app and token app, and not really NFTs. Yeah, they have to, dude. I mean, that's what Magic Eden's doing too. Magic Eden is getting into iGaming, so like just gambling shit, casino games, prediction market stuff. They're all moving from NFTs. Good luck, Mike Bennett. Good luck. Yeah. I didn't see many people happy with how the OpenSea stuff went. And I think it was half silly. Like people's expectations are really high, and I don't get why they're so high. We've not seen any good reasons to have to expect a payday. Now, when TGE happens, maybe they surprise us with a big old stimmy, but I'm not counting on it. Here, let me bounce back. Let's see. I want to bounce back to market real quick. Dude, I think that's coming, Dad. For what it's worth, I think that's coming. It's not worth much, but it's a little too late. But I do think that's coming. It's going to take a while, but Casey had tweeted at him, and Troy too, right? And OpenSea reached back. Love to chat, introduce you to team members. Right? It's probably coming. Also, this was, I don't know, I was chatting with Henry about it, and he's like, yeah, there you go, Dad. Yep. Wait, where was Hawk? Did we have a tweet from Hawk? Was that the China thing? Anyway, for those big prizes like the Bored Apes, the CryptoPunks, like the what $10,000 and up prizes, it's why they didn't send them out ahead of time. You got a KYC for them. So I was asking Henry, he's like, no, it makes sense. It's like a lotto ticket or something. But also I'm like, aren't they collectibles? Like, right? Well, okay, no, that's stupid. I guess you go on The Price is Right. You always heard these stories, right? You win something on a show, and you got to pay the tax on that stuff. So it makes sense. GIF is alive, dude. Every so often, because he's had a couple of viral tweets. Every so often, I'll see a tweet of his pop up. Every so often, he'll put out a pretty decent thread, and then I don't know how, but it gets traction. But they're decent threads. They didn't do them much, yeah. Yeah, no, GIF is around. I haven't talked to GIF in dude, maybe it's been it can't be 2 years. I don't think the other guys have talked to him either. I don't think Biggie or Q have chatted with him either. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's super around anymore. I think he's just in his own lane doing his thing. But I like GIF. He's a nice guy. Nice guy, smart guy, means well, all that stuff. I like GIF. What's up? GIF is jacked, dude. It's a handsome dude, right? He's jacked. Good old GIF. GIF should come back. I still want to do a NFT live reunion show. That'd be fun, man. But even Q and Biggie have kind of pulled away. They're not very active. I know Biggie's out at Marfa, pretty sure. But I like those guys a lot. That was one of my favorite things, was doing that show with those guys. It's only 6 months, maybe a little longer, but that was one of my favorite fucking things. Love that. Okay, let's do quick on the market stuff. I want to hear from people. I want to hear why people are so bearish. So bearish. Because I'm going to list off some things. We did this yesterday. I'm going to list off some things that are coming still that have me like pretty freaking hyped still. Like I'll say optimistic. I'm not hyped right now. I'm optimistic. Again, I think Bitcoin all-time high. That I'd bet on. But okay, still coming. This is still coming in the next, like, let's say 12 months, right? We have, I think, CME. I think this is what it is. CME 24/7 crypto trading. We have Citigroup crypto custody service. We have Morgan Stanley crypto trading platform. We have retirement plans who now can allocate retirement funds to crypto, and FAs, and some of these plans are going to allocate anywhere from 0 to 4% to crypto. I'm assuming mostly Bitcoin, but like we're talking like there's $8 trillion, $9 trillion invested in retirement plans. We have the market structure bill hopefully coming. To me, that's the biggest deal breaker. If that doesn't pass, that's the big yikes thing. It'll pass, but it's also like what version of it passes? What does it look like? But that's a big thing. If it passes, dude, amazing. Like game on. And I think that opens up next year. If it doesn't pass, yikes. We got the Stripe blockchain. We said earlier, rate cuts, quantitative easing. We have like those are really, really big and important too. And you pair that with the market structure bill. I'm like, man, maybe game on here. We have all these TGEs coming. And look, like I think each on their own, not a nothing burger, but each on their own, maybe not the biggest deal, but put them all together, and I think you're talking about something that really gives us that kickstart. If people are out of money and aren't trading because they're not sure, well, we got these things coming up that are going to get people liquid again. So the C token, which by the way, C isn't coming till 2026, so some of this stuff extends into next year. Why I'm going to stay optimistic into next year, like it might be like decently into next year. But the C token coming, the MAS token coming, ABS probably coming, another hype airdrop, the Meteora drop, Polymarket probably has a token coming, the lighter TGE, basis tokens probably next year, Pump airdrop still coming. And I think we're going to see tons more airdrops, tons. They might be tiny, but tons more airdrops. And then the trade war settling. If it does, when it does, whatever, right, dude, it's hard to worry at all when it's all of that is still to come. I'd be more worried if all those things happened already and then Friday happened, we'd be like, well, what else is coming? What other catalysts are even on the horizon? Like what else would there even be? And I don't, we're not there. We have like, dude, we've got like 20 different things coming. If you count each of those like TGEs or airdrops separate, we've got like 20 plus things coming in the next 12-ish months that are kind of needle moving on their own. Each individual airdrop, maybe not, but maybe one of them is. But put all that together, and I'm like, dude, we got a lot to look forward to here. A lot. I have a hard time betting that this market's going to be ass when all that happens. I think we still got stuff coming from Pudgy Penguins. I feel like Bored Apes are still going to be cooked. Right? I think we got a lot coming. Yes, dude. Yeah. I don't know. Almost without fail. Like, dude, without fucking fail. When the space is this unanimously bearish, and it's happened, dude, it happens more now too. This space just feeds on each other, right? Everybody gets so bearish, and then in 2 weeks, it's a whole different story. I'm sorry. It's so bearish out there, and it's so many people saying the bottom is in, and we're going so much lower, and it's over. And I'm like, dude, you said this a month ago. You said this 3 months ago. You said this 6 months ago, but this time is different, right? With all those things I just mentioned still coming, but this time is different. I'd like to peek at the business cycle, liquidity cycle stuff too, because I think we've got nothing but like just open air above, right? That's the thing that probably spooks me the most, Marty. The trade war and war. Those are the two things that I'm like, those could wreck us, kill us, end this at any moment too. But again, the trade war also comes to an end in an instant. Could. And it's kind of what I'm expecting. Bearishness mostly comes from people believing in the 4-year Bitcoin cycle. Yeah, we're kind of in uncharted territory here. And so all you can do is what? Just be here as an enjoyer watching for opportunities where I live? Or you can try to make predictions and you can only predict based on what's happened before. You're just trying to make your best guesses. So I get why people are doing what they're doing. But I think there's a lot of people who they get their whole vibe and they get their takes from other people. And I think there's clearly a lot of people like that. Look, like Cook pointed this out earlier in the week. Everybody fudding CZ right now when he was the hero of the space before a week ago. Some people talk shit about CZ, but almost unanimously, he was like our hero. And now all of a sudden it's CZ's a criminal. He's a villain. He killed this space scammer, all that. Right. And Cook's like, dude, 99% of crypto Twitter is no original thought. It's true. Dude, it's your dream, man. It's Puppet's dream. Yeah, I have a very hard time seeing this over, probably even close to over. And again, time is different here. So what does that mean? Close to over, that could be, 8 months out. And I would say that's not close. It's close, but you know what I mean? But no, I all-time high still coming for Bitcoin. I'll tell you, I don't believe that we see an all-time high across the board in alts. I'm not sure about that. I'm not. Like, I could get with anybody saying there's not going to be an alt season. I can get with that. Yeah, dude, send it. Send it to me, English. I want to see it. But dude, another thing we've talked about, right? But it is a risk. It's if the 2030 thesis, right? Bitcoin million by 2030 and AI changes shit. Like, still AI is a risk too, that it doesn't grow the way we thought, that it's not as good as we thought. And we kind of are there right now. It's kind of not as good as we were thinking. We're not as deep, or we're not there. I don't think I'm the only one thinking 2030, maybe not. I don't want to. Yeah, we'll see. So real quick, we'll jump back to OpenSea. By the way, I didn't see. So by the way, I gave all those specific things coming in the next 12 months on why I'm so bullish. I haven't seen any good takes on why we should be so bearish. I haven't seen any good ones. Okay, right? Like war might have been about that. Sure, yeah. And China stuff, trade war stuff. Yeah. But I haven't seen any good takes on why it's over. I haven't seen any. Like, none. I want them to. I would love to be. I don't want to be wrong about this, that I think we got a lot further to go and a lot of good times ahead and a lot of money to make still. But I'm open to be challenged anytime, and I'm always okay being wrong. I haven't seen any reasons why I should be thinking that it's over. I don't see it, man. I see people scared. And I see people like wanting to be right. But I don't see any good reasons. Dude, OpenSea 2.6 billion in trading volume. English, do you send something? Oh God, I got it. All right, let's do that. I'll go back to OpenSea after. This looks cool. All right. Bitcoin historical data simplified. Okay, according to the cycle, 2026 will be red and full of opportunities for those paying attention. Okay, I called the bottom back in November 2022. The current pattern is extremely bearish and in line with my actual predictions for a Bitcoin top between September 20th and October 10th. When was this post? Did they nail it? No. Well, not on this tweet, but elsewhere, I'm sure. The data works until it proves otherwise. I like that. Okay. Wait a second. There is their whole I'm going to look at the other tweet. Is the whole thesis just because 3 prior cycles? Hang on. Oh, okay. All right. So the entire case is because that's how it happened before. It's not going to do it for me. It's not going to do it for me. But also, I like the take that the data works until it proves otherwise. I think that's fine too. What I need to do, and I don't know. That's also very true. That's also true. Yep. No, you don't know you're there until you're deeper in it. That's for sure. Yep. I guess part of the like bear thesis too is, how about this? You're going to love this then. Are bears going to be different this time around? Also a thing we've talked about enough, right? Are bears different now? Are we going to see more opportunities in a bear market? I think so, right? I think so. And I can't compare it to anything before because in previous crypto bear markets, we didn't have all the kinds of assets here. We didn't have the amount of people here. We didn't have the kind of, open, regulatory environment. We didn't have those before. So if we're in a bear market, and we'll go by whatever the official definition is, which is what? How many, is it weekly closes or monthly closes? Down how much, right? There is a definition for a bear market. Yeah, English, come on in. But do we get more opportunities in a bear market? And I think yes on that too. It's just a think. Who knows? But I think so. I think that's kind of an obvious thing. All right. English, I think I got you here. And let's pull up the official definition of a bear market. This will be fun. All right, hang on. I'm going to grab some coffee and then we'll chat. We'll chat bear market here. What's up, Rarebo? GM, sir. Hey, we got our raffle coming up this week, dude. We got 3 Vibies going to a new home this week. I can't wait. I'm feeling... Ooh, I don't know, dude. I was going to say I was feeling lucky, but I'm getting like lucky vibes from you today. I'm getting lucky vibes from you, man. Here, I don't want to spoil English's side, but I'm going to leave that up. No, I'm not going to leave it up. English can have the take here. All right, I'll BRB just a minute. All right, dude, my favorite FUD monkeys here. Fuck yeah! All right, hang on. Let's get English up here. English, you good to come up whenevs? He's not on camera, so I think it's fine. All right, let's bring English up. English is going to tell us why we might be in a bear market and how we'll know when we're in a bear market. Oh, hang on a sec, dude. Drop English. Hang on. Let me bring English up for his favorite. English's new nickname is FUD Monkey. There we go.
Yo.
Welcome, dude.
Yeah, GM.
What's
Can't
up?
talk too loud. Have some people sleeping in the house. But here, all right. Go back to the post that I showed you.
Okay. By the way, DK, we're coming back to that, dude, because it's pretty fucking important. Keyboard talk. English's favorite. All right, let me just pull it back up fresh.
No, not this chick. That's pretty funny though.
Oh my god, dude. I gotta take about it. You'll hate it. She's right.
That was the most cringe shit.
She's right.
All right, here you go. Here's the thesis. I know you think it's a weak thesis, but if we start with the premise that nobody knows where price will go, nobody knows. We could do a 10-year bull run, right? A 20-year bull run every year after year. We 3x every year. We hit 400K this year. Next year it's $1 million. Next year it's 10 million. All things are possible, right? Like there's nothing that's I know something special, you know something special. We just use whatever information is available, right? To make an educated guess, and you try to, and that projection could be 3 months out, 6 months out, a year. I think most people would probably agree that it's easier to see a week in front of you, a month in front of you, 3 months in front of you, as opposed to 5-10 years, right? So like there's kind of this general bias where you can kind of see what's in front of you a little bit easier. And then so what you're trying to do is saying, okay, are we in a bear market, bull market? And you're trying to find a rational argument. Now there's two kind of rational arguments. There's deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning will give you a cause and effect. Because this is happening, it necessitates that B will happen. If you add 2 to 2, automatically you will get 4. Like that's just it's by definition, and that's a logical way to think. If your heart starts, whatever, there's ways to do it. Almost everything that we have is inductive reasoning. We have to go by patterns and by things that make sense. Like for instance, when we get confirmed in a bear market, there's nothing that really says we have to, but traditionally every time that we've gone under the 50 moving average, the 50 bar moving average on a weekly basis, that's confirmation of the bear, because every time that we go under that 50 moving average on the weekly, it has always led to a bear market. So we use that as an indicator, right? On the weekly, the 200, when we hit the 200, we're near the bottom. Sometimes we go under, that's currently under 54. So if you take, I mean, I was a philosophy and an English major at University of Florida many years ago, whatever. And then I remember my professor giving me this basic, this was philosophy 101, logic 101. I think it was logic 101, which is kind of tangential to philosophy 101. You need to understand it. And that definition of inductive logic. So he's like, if you buy a pack of like Hanes white shirts at Walmart, right? And they're undershirts, you buy them, you wear the first one, you like to wash them individually. So you wash the first one and the collar, falls off. So you're like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll just pick another one. And you do the same thing. You put it in the washer after it's dirty and the collar washes off. If you do that to the 9th one and then the 10th one goes there, is it more likely that the collar is going to fall off or it's not, right? I think most people will say, like, it's intuitively that if I've had 9 of these before, every time I put in the washer, the collar falls off. When I put the 10th one in, most likely that collar will fall off. Now, there's nothing that necessitates that that's going to happen, right? Like it could literally be that this 10th one was done well. There was something different about the washing cycle, whatever the case. It could easily be that the 10th one doesn't have to go that. But more than likely, if you had to pick one, the logical choice would be like, well, it's going to happen, right? And I think you would agree with that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then so there's something called like,
Someone's sabotaging our chat here.
yeah, can you hear me or no?
Yeah, I got you.
Bro, like this Puerto Rican Walgreens is really aggressive about filling your prescription. Like if they filled it, they call you 4 or 5 times to pick it up, and like sequential, like right after each other. Like
Jesus.
motherfucker, pick up. Anyways, all right. So then there's something called like the Lindy effect, right? So like you feel more confident in Bitcoin because it's existed longer than, let's say, Solana, right? It's been around since 2009. And then the same thing with gold. Like gold has been used as a store of value for a long time, right? So you're probably more like confident than anything else, right? Like in terms of, things. So if you see this pattern here in 2018, it was much less likely that 2018 would be red based on there because you didn't have that much data, right? And some would argue that these 4 sets are not that much data, and I would agree with that. But compared to what else do we have available? We don't have anything available again. So just by a logical standpoint, when you look at 2018 being red as opposed to 2022, 2022 has a much stronger case for 2018 being there because it's happened that way twice before. Now you have 3 sets. And so really from a logical standpoint, when you don't really like look at anything else, we've seen this pattern. You'd have to have some definitive data of why this looks there. And you don't get that definitive data until we get the close of 2025. If this turned red for whatever reason, which actually is not that far off. If you look at like the open of 2024 and 2025, I think we just have to close this year under, I think, 95 or 92, something like that, which is definitely possible. If this turned red here, then okay, that's some interesting data. I think so when people say like, oh, it's a stupid argument that just because it's happened that way before, it has to happen this time, it's actually not a stupid argument. It's a very, very strong argument. Now, does that mean that it has to be? No, absolutely not. Like it could be like the ETFs are different, like everybody's been saying, institutional bidding, people, the dollar weakening, a strong economy. There's all of those are really, really good reasons of why this time it might be different. But I think based on just a logical standpoint and the fact that every time that we've had 2018 and 2022, there's always been a reason of why this time is different. And usually in crypto, it's never different, right? And we find that out later. I think to say that it's a weak stance, to say just because that's been like that for 2 or 3 times or 4 times, it necessitates that has to happen. No, it doesn't necessitate. It's not a necessity. It's not a causal thing that because it's happened, it has to happen. But to say that that's a weak argument, I think is actually a really weak argument against what I'm saying. So that's what I'm walking you through. I think to trivialize this is a mistake, is my point.
No, I think it's fair too. Weak argument, no. Safe argument, smart argument, probably yes. But also, dude, I think we're here to make smart, safe bets, but we're also always trying to find opportunities, right? Like one of my favorite things in the bear market, and I guess market doesn't matter, but it's like you do the digging to find the things people aren't going to find and find the things that don't make sense, and see if you can get an edge that way. And in a way, that's like what we're trying to do with this bull market and bear market. Can we find some kind of edge there? Can we find some info that tells us like it's actually not going to play out the way that we're expecting, that it's different, that people aren't, recognizing the thing? And I'm not going to say that we've found that, but there are all these other interesting things coming. It's, the laundry list of things I mentioned that are coming. I don't remember those in previous bull markets having that many catalysts coming, and you can't measure that per se, right? You can't really measure that. There might be ways, but then, dude, like things like business cycle. It's interesting. You know me, dude. I'm no expert, right? But it's an interesting, compelling case for why it might be different. And I always say might, right? And my gut is, and I feel like, right? And I just say that still. It looks like it makes sense. It feels like it might be different because of even just that, but then all these other reasons too. But then even like rate cuts, dude, like last cycle bear market, we topped what? November 21? But bear market, do you know when we officially started bear market last cycle? Well, it's on that chart, I guess, right? 22?
I mean, that's just the general thing of saying that we've had 3 green years and then a red year follow.
Yeah.
That's just the thing. Yeah, it's not that. So here's the thing. It's a tricky thing. So I want to speak to 2 specific points. One is you can say that we've topped for the cycle using BTC because when BTC pumps, it brings other things up with it. When BTC dumps, alts, jump off a cliff, right? So people look at BTC. If you look at 2021, there were still like 3 or 4 or 5 months of a lot of on-chain activity and people making a ton of money. So just because BTC topped doesn't mean that Punkster won't make an all-time high again afterwards or whatever, especially if people go to risk on assets, right? And like super risky alts or whatever. So there's that to be said. The other point that you said, well, we're here trying to counter trade the common sentiment because that's where money's made. So I agree with that 1,000%. I'm going to use an example, like me minting node monks. So I was heavily in the BTC ecosystem during that time in a way that I think very few people were. Maybe some people like Owl, NFT Boy. There was a couple of other people that were like kind of my peers there that we had a very strong network of who was building what. We knew information before that, before other people. We knew certain relationships that existed that wasn't public information. And in my mind, there was no way that node monks were not going to be the next big thing, right? And then actually this was before it got popular on crypto Twitter. And then it got super popular on crypto Twitter. All the alpha groups, which still existed at then, were calling node monks. Like everything was like, oh my God, node monks. Then they got fudded out because they went from, okay, free mint to, from free mint to donate money to paid mint to Dutch auction. And at that time, like Dutch auction, because you got to remember, this is 2000, what was it, 2023? So we were just coming off like the previous cycle when like the Dutch auction was considered like the ultimate money grab, right? Like cash grab. And it's like, oh, these people are just full of shit. So I used to have people in my DMs all the time like, hey, give me some alpha, give me some Ordinals alpha. And I go, here's the Ordinals alpha. I'm not interested in anything but node monks. And there was a bunch of other mints that were making, $300, $500, $1,500, in mints. And I go, I don't really care about them. I'm zeroly interested. I'm saving all my capital for this thing. And everyone's like, well, that's so obvious. No, it's so obvious that node monks are the okay. It's so obvious that node monks are the play. And then I would leave it at that. I was like, well, that's my alpha. And then after the mint, I minted a whole bunch of them. And I would follow up with these people and I'd say, hey, listen, how many did you mint? And they're like, oh, I didn't mint any. And I go, what are you talking about? When you asked me for alpha, you told me what was, I told you node monks, like don't focus on anything, just mint node monks. And you told me that that's stupid because it's so obvious. And you didn't mint one. And they're like, oh no, I got fudded out. So that's just a long way of saying I agree with you that there's a lot of money to be made by counter trading, sentiment in general. That's why it mooned so much because there were so many people sidelined. So I agree potentially. If and I'm not convinced that everybody being bearish is the common sentiment because I think it's 50-50 at this point. There's a lot of people that are saying, hey, this is just the dip. I think it's about 50-50.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you look at this chart, you look at the month that we're in, you're looking BTC, having basically going on an unabated run from 19 or whatever it was, $15,000 wicked, 18, 17,000 for a week or whatever, to 126,000. And if it's so more important to you to get what are we talking about? Another 10, 15% on Bitcoin. So let's say it's 125 is the top. And what you're talking about, 135, 140, 150. Like, I don't know, for me, somebody who was buying, I didn't really get any buys in under 20,000. I didn't sell. Yeah, like I mean, listen, I started this space in 2021. I didn't really get into like actual like mints and flipping till like January of 2022 because I was kind of just observing and learning crypto Twitter and all that stuff. And I started with 1 ETH. And to give you an idea, this year I paid over 6 figures in taxes. So I won't get into like, but you can kind of do some math, right? So like, and that's basically there. So like for me, to say like, hey, listen, like I think that the bull market, bear market, I don't know, man. You don't know. I don't know. Choina doesn't know. Fucking Marty, he's a smart guy. It seems he doesn't know. Nobody fucking knows. Yep. But like, I just think your risk reward, if it's really a 50-50, right? Like, let's say that you have the data in front of you showing that, okay, this month this year's the last year of being bullish. This month is the last year of being bullish. You have all this data sets that tell you the bull market could be over. And then you have all this data saying like, hey, listen, gold is pumping. That's good for Bitcoin. Stocks and are pumping. That's good for Bitcoin. We have institutions bidding things. That's good for Bitcoin. So that counters it. I just think your risk reward, like the money is not made when it's when you sell it. It's when you buy it, like in a weird way, right? Like you just buy it when it's undervalued. So it just makes things. I know about the end of the world, but not crypto specifically.
I love Marty, dude.
Well, no, the funny part is I'm actually kind of with Marty. I fucking feel in my gut there's some black swan event, like some people called. Like I just literally think we're due for a black swan, and it could be the alien invasion. It could be the invasion of Taiwan. This motherfucker. 2069, 2000. Marty's pretty hilarious.
He's the best, dude.
Yeah.
But
no,
dude,
I think there's a more mild black swan coming either in 2026 or whatever, or late 2026, something like that.
I can see it. It's like there's just I love these chats, by the way, and it's kind of why we do the show. It's like nobody knows, so we talk through it. We just share our experiences, and we do look for patterns too. It's a big part of it. And it's like, yeah, if the risk reward is there, isn't there, especially with something like Bitcoin, is it worth playing the market now for maybe a 10, 15% gain there? Or do you want to be stuck if this thing dumps down to, in the 80s or God for fucking bid, like 40s? I'm like, man, I don't even play that shit. I'm looking for if the, Bitcoin is going to keep going up and to the right, because we know when that happens, other things bubble up around it, right? And that's where I play, because I'm just here having fun. And so that's where I'm trying to figure out, is it over, or do the good times continue, even if just for Bitcoin? Because then that means the opportunities that I play, that those come about more. And that's what I'm fucking hoping for, dude. There is an interesting thing that I don't think has ever happened before. There is another this time is different thing. I think I got to dig more. I don't think we've ever had rate cuts in a crypto bear market. As best I can tell, and I'm only ChatGPT and Grok and whatnot, right? I don't think we've ever had rate cuts come during a bear market, like ever. Does it matter? I don't know. To me, it feels like it does if you do that, and then back to like the business cycle, liquidity cycle, which are still like haven't materialized yet, and everybody thinking they will. And then this ties into what I think DK said in here, Raoul Powell's, what was it? Government debt refinancing cycle. There's so many things at play that I don't understand. And when other people do explain them, they make sense. They're just things that I put in that column of, it feels different. It doesn't feel like the end. And I can look at this and say, yeah, dude, yeah, going by what's happened before, this is the end. It should be. And if you're smart, you're planning around the things you know. You're not planning like me around the things you don't know. You're just hoping for.
And
that makes sense.
You know how you say like nobody has an original thought, and people are just regurgitating other people's takes? There's just kind of two takes. There's like the traditionalists with the 4-year cycle, and then there's Raoul Powell, and it's some variation of that. And that means, oh, it's M2 money supply, because I never heard about M2 money supply before this. I heard Russell 2000, other things. So all of a sudden everybody's a money supply like that. And then he's like, oh no, it's not, it's not the 4-year cycle because of the halving, and it's actually the business cycle, which happened to actually just be on 4 years. So it just happens to be that way. But this year we have a 5-year cycle. So now everybody's an expert on why it's going to be an extended cycle. There's only two camps really. And it's like, if you really think about it, it's a binary thing. Price is going to go up or price is going to go down. And there's a predominant reason, and it's going to be one or the other, right? Like it's pretty simple.
What if it's both? What if it's Bitcoin's up, everything else is down? Like we might, like this, it's such a weird time, dude. We might be heading into like nobody knows anything, and it might play out in a way that nobody predicted too. Nobody fucking knows.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. So that's what I prefaced all of this argument with. Anything is possible. But realistically, what we're talking about is the trend is your friend until the end, or until it's not, right? And so like Bitcoin had gone up and down since 2022, but it's for the most part gone in a direction, right, that you can reliably count on. If we go down from here, it's not going to be in a straight line. It's going to go up and down. We can go to 112 and then go down or whatever. ISM PMI, the business cycle. Yeah. And then so like that's what we're thinking about. So is there a world where Bitcoin keeps going up, but all the alts go down? I guess, but I find that hard to believe. I think until we see something that why it's different. Like, why are we going to think this time is different? It's you're literally like the person that washed the 9 undershirts from Hanes. the collar fell off, and then before you go to wash, you go, hey, English, I'm going to tell you why this time it's different. And
What if
then it's
it's
like,
because the undershirt isn't an undershirt though? And what I mean by that is, what if it has to do with our debt, has to do with the way our economy currently is, and everybody knows isn't sustainable. And so part of what's happening here is like a I don't know the perfect word for this, dude. Like a fundamental change with how the economy runs, and this is like the AI conversation and the like kind of crypto powering a lot of the economy in some way, and the move to stay. But what if it's different, like in that way? The undershirt's no longer the undershirt. The economy is
well,
no
it
longer.
is it is an undershirt, because I'll tell you what the comparison. The comparison is, you could have gone back into 2021, whenever the top was, right? So let's say it was November, I think, or something like that, October, November, and you could have chose to sell, right? But there's a lot of people telling you why this is not the top, and you had a choice. I'm either going to sell or I'm not going to sell because this is the top. That's where we're at now. We're 4 years into it. You have the choice to sell or not in Q4. And you have to make that decision. So it's even although it might be different, and the 10th shirt, the collar doesn't fall off. I think it's a hard bet. I think it's a tough bet to bet against it. And if you've made a lot of money in the space, I think it's a high risk reward to say this time it's different, and I'm going to, because here's what you don't want to do, right? Like there's something to be said for selling on your own terms if you plan to sell at all. I mean, there's people that, hey, listen, I make X amount a year, my wife makes X amount a year, I have a nice IRA, I have a nice amount of disposable income. I've been buying Bitcoin since 2017. I've made a fuck ton of money. I just don't sell my Bitcoin. Like, why am I going to worry about tax implications and stress about stuff? Because, hey, listen, like, yeah, it'll be down for a year, but that's 1 year out of 4 years. Like, why do I care? I'll just buy more, right? Like, I'll stop buying now and I'll just buy more there. That'll be my version of selling, right? And that makes a lot of sense. Now, there's some people that a good portion of their income, whether it's all of it, like me, like I'm full-time Web3, you're full-time Web3. I might get some jobs in Web3, whether that's being on a community team or a consultant, or if I do a show and whatever. There's ways to monetize being here. But for the most part, it's most of my plays, and there's a certain amount of people. I think those are two different scenarios. And so if you've made a ton of money in the last 3 years, to give back 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, most of it back, it's a pretty tough pill to swallow. And so, like, there's something to be said for selling on your own terms. Like, if you're selling because it's like, okay, this is a good amount of money, maybe I'll take 50% of the chips off the table, 80% of the chips, as
Dude, shouldn't
opposed
you
to
always be doing that though? Like, isn't that the
well,
best way?
I have in general, but that's just what I'm saying. Like, there's some people that are like, hey, listen, like, I'm not taking anything off the table. Like, I'm not going to get shaken out. And what happens is that we go to 112,000 or 115,000, and then like, oh, okay. But now all of a sudden, next time we don't drop
Go higher.
to 104, we drop to 92. Oh, this is what I wanted. I'm going to buy more, whatever. And then it's like, instead of bouncing to 112, you bounce to 107, and then you're at 70,000, and then you're like, oh fuck. And then by that time, everybody realizes the bear market, and now you're at 70, 82,000 there, as opposed to 140, right? And if you had 2 or 3 Bitcoin, I mean, you're talking over 100 grand. I don't know, like,
Yep.
there's just things like that. So,
Dude,
and it's
yes.
worse. Hold on, just one more thing. I'm sorry. And then it's worse. I'm using Bitcoin, which is not even that brutal, right? If you're like in something like SWE and you're at $3 and that shit goes down to 40 cents, like, that's a big difference, especially if you had fucking $100,000 worth of fucking SWE.
Dude,
And
yes.
now all of a sudden you have whatever that works out to. Like, it's $15,000. Like, there's a big difference between 100,000 and 15,000.
Man, yes. I'll say this too. Like, and I've learned this lesson. I have. Okay, the most I've ever been wrecked, and it's happened over and over and over again. And it's like a cautionary tale, and I think everybody does this. Okay, when I'm like betting or hoping things go up, and I catch myself with certain words when I say, if this happens, and if this happens, and if this happens, and maybe if the founder does this, and maybe if the coin does this, and maybe if the government decides to do this. When I start doing the what if, and if the word is if the word if is in my thesis, that's scary. I've been wrecked so many times, big time wrecked, in things that I invent what I want somebody to do, or want the market to look like, and what I want the project to do as far as a release, whatever. When I get in that headspace, I get wrecked almost every fucking time. without tangible things to measure the thing, right? Without like measurable like deliverables, I get fucking wrecked in those things. So I my thesis right now is if this happens, if the market structure bill passes, if the AI thing happens. So I'm super fucking aware that I'm doing that with this too. And like I said, that's hurt me in things like Naval. Um, I could, yeah, there's quite a few things I could probably say where I've done that. If they do this, then it's a dangerous fucking game, dude. It's a dangerous game.
I mean, I would say this. I would say that even if you don't think the top is in and you're very confident in your conviction, I think it would make more sense to be in something like BTC, maybe even ETH and Sol, as opposed to like Fartcoin, right? Like if you are wrong, you're going to be in a wrong in a big way with like these smaller, these smaller cap coins. Swede's going to go a lot lower than Sol will be percentage wise. The newer coins, maybe like Aster, potentially will go quite lower. I don't know. There's just stuff like if a 30, 40, 50% drawdown is not the same thing as a 90% drawdown is kind of my point. So like that's one way you can mitigate stuff. If you're somebody
Fartcoin's
that
360. Holy shit.
yeah, and that's that. I mean, like in a bear market, like there's no reason why that's not 30 million. And if you have 100 grand in it, that's a difference of 9 grand versus 100 grand. Like you think that that's ridiculous, but there's plenty of people that have multiple six figures in Farcoin. Like that's just people have it. They treat it like and I did this for a while too. I actually treated dog with hat, in 2023 or 2024, just like I would treat any other alt, because they were trading like any other alt. Like it wasn't usual to have a $4 billion valuation on a meme coin. Like sure, it's existed before, but we had just seen Pepe, and it's like, okay, well, there's certain coins that just have such mind share and such deep liquidity where they have like $20 million, in the liquidity pool that you could plow $1 million and not, budget. So why not treat it? And it went from my entry of 800 million down to like 300 back to like 4 billion because of a Coinbase announcement or whatever. And I was able to exit. And that was very, very risky because I had close to 6 figures in that coin. But that makes a lot less sense now is my point, right? Like a year after the last bear market, where you're in 2023, early 2024, where like the chances of the bull market ending is much, much, much lower. So like even if we're in a downturn of the market, you feel pretty confident that there'll be another upturn, right? Like these last 3 months were really shitty, but like that doesn't mean that the next 3 months will be. And yeah, I think it's easy just to remember how much like the bear market weighs on you. Like a year's not that long. But a year and a half of like no on-chain activity where people are not making plays. There's no mints, there's no meme coins, there's no Ponzi DeFi apps, there's no airdrops. Like none of that has any value. And a year and a half of that weighs down on your mind a lot more than people remember, I think.
Well, dude, what do you think about that? I know you might have to boogie soon, but like, okay, last bear market. So let's think it started before this, but let's just say mid 22 when we realized there's nothing to do and there's no place, there's nowhere to make money. Like for the most part, is that how you remember it? Because I remember it that way. From there through like 23, there was just nothing.
Well, it's weird because the way I remember it, and I still stick with this, is just because the bear market doesn't mean opportunity is not going to be there, right? Like I remember checks, and I remember Pepe in 2023, I believe, right? So you're talking about, just a year off. Like the first quarter of 2022 was bullish, right? Like that's when you still had that was like, I think most people would agree that you had the other side mint that kind of like was the blow off top, or maybe Moonbirds, but all that existed. Azuki was in early 2022. Bored Apes had 150. ETH was at 2022. So the first quarter of 2022. And then I would say that the summer, fall, winter, and first quarter of 2023, those 4 quarters, Q2, Q3, Q4, and Q1 of 2023 were the bear market. But then we started having plays, which was the beginning of the bull market. But even that feels down because you're still down. It takes time for those majors to start working the way up, and it takes time for you to have confidence that the market's coming back up. But as cheesy as it sounds, if you log on to this space on a daily basis, and I can tell by who chats on this this chat, a lot of people do, or you might have family, you might have kids, you might have a 9 to 5, but this is still like your hobby, right? Like you still like listen to it as much as you can on your downtime. You might listen at work, you still make plays, and you still show up on a pretty much daily basis. Like that's when the big opportunities, like that's when you make the relationships for the people that are going to stay. You make relationships with people that have alpha or people you want to work with. And I think there's still place to be made in the bear market. I just think that what you got used to, where there's actual liquidity on chain, because there's liquidity on chain now, right? Like Punkster went to 300 million. That's not the same thing as 3 billion in 2024 when, Dog with Hat and Fartcoin went to billions. But I can guarantee you, if we go to a bear market, a $300 million, meme coin for all intent and purposes. I know it's a utility coin, but I'm just going to call it a meme coin.
Oh, it is.
Well, I think everything trades like a meme coin. Here's my thesis on
They
it.
all are.
Like it's based on sentiment, right? Like Uniswap gives you voting rights in the DAO for the direction, but nobody buys it because of that. You just buy it like, hey, they're making a lot of fees. ETH went from 1,500 to 4,900. Virtuals exist. There's on-chain activity. People are using Uniswap more, so of course the token should be valued more. But that's not really the real thing. Is that okay? People are using it. It occupies mind share. So like the reason it went to 300 million is because it was novel. People love punks. There's a lot of people like in the punks OG ETH people that they just want to see like ETH should do well. Like I think that's part of the reason like virtuals and base did well, because you have this core of OG ETH people that just like to fuck around with things on ETH, on mainnet, on L2s. So I think 300 million, like that's still a very bull market thing. Like that just happened recently.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago, right? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. And like, I like that people are waking up to that token valuations, right? I really believe the ICM thing woke people up to that. Like I do. I think like, not that most people are on virtuals, but I at least can speak for that community. Experienced enough in crypto, but didn't understand still what they were trading. And then as they started getting into these projects that had tokens, they're like, but wait, what's the token for? And like, how am I using it? And what do I do? And like, why the fuck is it worth 10 mil? Like, why has it got a 10 mil FDV? And finally, people are realizing it's worth it because it's a meme coin and because you want it to be and because you're gambling on it in the end. And all these alts, every single one, memetic value. They're all meme coins, all of them. And I'm glad people have woken up to it. What I'm hoping though, dude, like back to opportunities, right? So you mentioned 2 big ones last cycle. I don't think I did get into Pepe. I didn't touch checks. You boys cooked on that, by the way. But there weren't many, right? There weren't many plays back then. I'm hoping like this time around, another hopium and what if and maybe thing, but I'm hoping because we have meme coins in a way that didn't exist back then. And we have the growth stuff in AI. I'm hoping those opportunities are actually like there throughout the bear, like very frequent, like really small too, because I think people start valuing it when you don't have as much money to play with. And it looks probably closer to like what Vibestra looks like in Token Works, right? It's a big NFT project, has a token, but it's not worth what the big boys are. I'm hoping we see that all throughout the bear and tokens like that are from good teams, good projects, that we still see them ripping into a couple mil, a few mil, something like that. So I'm even hoping the bear market, whenever it does come, like it's just different throughout. And not it's another gut thing, but I feel like it's gonna be.
It's funny because Draco here writes in the comment, did he admit to insider trading? I think Draco's just fucking with me, but
Yes.
but it is kind of true though. Like, I mean, it depends what your definition of insider trading. Like, I think Frank had a take on this. He's like, if you've been here for 3 or 4 years and you haven't developed these relationships and these groups where you have this inside edge, like, what the fuck are you doing? And like, I think there's something to that. I mean, take it with a grain of salt. Like everybody has a different plan, a different reason. You might just find the space entertaining. It's just, fun, fake internet money. Like there's different things. But if you're here to really change your life in a significant way, and you haven't developed those relationships, whether they're business relationships or friend relationships, like I don't think K Money is the smartest person in the world. I think he's very smart. I think he understands like memetics, but I think the fact that he's able to go and farm lighter 9 months ago, 7 months ago, when it wasn't hot, was because of the relationships he made, right? Like he probably got into these whale groups, like, making a play on Pepe, making a play on Whiff, making a play or whatever. He traded his bag from 6 figures to 7 figures to 8 figures. He was probably holding like, I don't know, $500,000 of fart coin. That gets him into some group chats where these people are, making money any which way they can. And they're like, hey, homie, like, here's the next alpha. Like, while everybody's looking at fucking hype and jerking off at hype and getting a 2 or 3x off the lows 15, we're going to farm this shit over here and make another, $200,000 or $300,000. And that's how he gets his edge, right? Like, I don't think he's that guy. Like, I understand that he understands memes, but because he understood memes, he got into the right circles or things. And that happens a lot in the bear market because there's just not that much to do, right? So if you're pushing, grinding, talking about different things, like that's what happened with me. Like I had my 9 to 5 job. It wasn't 9 to 5. It was a restaurant job where I was the general manager of a Mexican restaurant, and the owner closed it down in 2023, in February 2023. What happened in February 2023?
February 23?
Yeah. Ordinals were born.
That's right. Yeah.
That's when that's when we were looking at those punks, the BTC punks, and we were trading them. You turned me on to them. You're like, oh shit, like these are going to be the next big thing. That's when I learned about Taproot Wizards. That's when I met the Wizards at the conference in Miami. There was 2 big conferences, the BTC one in Miami that nobody went to, because as much as everybody jerks off about BTC now and how obvious it is, nobody cared about BTC in a significant way in the NFT market, right? Like there was the old school crypto people that love BTC and people that came in through BTC, but everybody was jerking off to Ethereum. There was like, oh, Ethereum's going to flip BTC, all that other stuff, right? So like nobody cared about the Bitcoin conference in a significant way. And I remember there was the VFriends conference at the same time in 2023. And I didn't go to the VFriends one, not because I was such a brain. It's because the other one was in Miami and I live in Palm Beach County. It was an hour and a half away, 2 hours. So I literally went out of convenience. And my buddy Dancing Eddie was going to go. And like literally, like that was like the alpha. If you went to that conference, that's when all the people who had known about Ordinal since the year before, like New Casey, Rock Toshi, all those motherfuckers, they were there. And that's where I met all those motherfuckers. So it's not because I was smarter than everybody, but it's just because I was there, bro. I didn't leave. I was interested. I was curious. And I could have easily not gone to that conference. And if I didn't go to that conference, it would make a difference in my life of multiple 6 figures, basically, of what I changed. And if it was just my story, I would understand. But I hear so many people that were like, hey, listen, in the bear market, this is where I, like if you look at Whale, which I'm not that big of a fan of. I don't have anything bad to say about him. Everybody's here to get money the way he can. But he just started writing threads about NFTs at a time when NFTs were still hot and threads were still hot. And Azuki, reached out to him and he blew up. Do I think he provides any value that's exceptional? No, not particularly, but he was at the right time at the right place. And like at the end of the day, he still had to put all the information together, write the threads, and put in the work, right? So he's put in the work. And because of that, he makes a shitload of money off of there. The modern market was made in the bear market, B-Check will tell you all that stuff. So like all the people that you see reaping the rewards, they put in the effort in the bear market. And then when things actually hit and people start caring again, you're way positioned well in advance of them, and they have to play catch up.
So make friends.
And I just think like, listen, man, maybe I'm wrong, dude. Maybe I'm wrong that the bear market's not over. I mean, the bull market's not over. Maybe BTC goes to 200K. Maybe I'll be sidelined. But if I'm not wrong, I have a lot of fucking money to deploy to be buying stuff on a discount.
There you go, though. If you're okay, whatever your take is, if you are calling it the cycles over and you're wrong about it, you don't lose. Like you're saying, all it means is there's going to be all those ridiculous plays that come up. And I mean, for me, and I think for you, I think again, most of the money in like the meme coin stuff, the NFT stuff, right? It's like, that's where, again, I think a lot of us are making our money from is that shit. So if you're wrong, well, you at least played it smartly. You like hedged your bets, but now you get the good shit still coming. So fucking
I'll say this, dude, like everything's a learning experience. I don't know everything. Like, I'm just a dude, bro. I'm just a dude on the fucking internet with a stupid fucking cartoon PFP. And like, there's a lot of people that are much smarter than me, but I'm learning stuff and I try to share what I learn and what I think. And hopefully, other people bounce off their ideas and vice versa. I learn from other people. But like one thing I learned earlier this year is I sold all of my stuff. I stabled 100% before the big dip. So like this was like late February, early March. So I didn't sell the bottom by any means. You know, you're talking about Bitcoin in the high to mid 90s. You know, it went down to this, you know, 70s or whatever. I sold Solana at 180. It went down to fucking 90. You know what I mean? It's basically back at that same price. So did I miss upside? 100%. But I had to pay taxes. I had just moved to Puerto Rico. This is the first time that I haven't had a supplemental, you know, income. I has been going up and to the right consistently, and this is the first downturn. So like, I don't think it was made a mistake selling everything, but what I learned was not having any skin in the game sucks too, because if things go up, not only that, but you kind of start rooting for things to go, and I think it's a bad mindset to have. So what I did is I took 20% of that and I kept it in the market and I just played riskier stuff. And my thing was like, if it goes to zero or virtual zero, I lose 90% of 20%. Like I could live with that. You know what I mean? But if things keep going parabolic, I'm in the riskier stuff and those things will moon more. And it goes to show you that whatever that 20% is, I just don't want to say the exact number. I doubled that. And so it's basically, I made the same amount of money as if I never sold, but I had 100% risk off and it worked for me in that things. And I don't think that that's the only strategy you can have, but I'm just saying there's ways to mitigate it, right? Like if you're a big BTC bull, you can just, you can hedge by taking some leverage to the downside and short BTC, right? Like I don't ever want to sell my BTC, but I'll open up a 10x short at 120 just to kind of hedge myself. Like I know B-Check from the Modern Market, you know, he had a ton of ETH and hype, and he didn't want to sell some of it, so he started shorting the ETH. Just because he thought the price was going to go down, but he doesn't really particularly want to sell it. And so there's just different strategies. I don't think you have to be full bull and full bear is kind of my point. So even though I was worried about a downturn, I put 20% back in and I started buying shit that was high risk, and it had a good reward for me until recently, and the price went down. But
love it, dude. Love
yeah.
it. Twitter main bullish still, cyclically the chart, the macro context with relation to gold. Dude, he's saying something really important here too. Like we said it earlier today, but the last Friday thing, it was that is serious fuckery. I don't think that's all done at all, dude. Market makers, Binance, whatever happened there, those three tokens, fallout there might suck. That's the short-term thing I'm a little worried about. But you know, again, medium term is where I'm pretty bullish. Long, you know, so for me, it's that short term, little worried. Medium term, super excited. Long term, you know, we're talking like a year out. Don't know. Chart Foo posted some market peak signal. I don't know where he gets this from, but I'll buy it. 0 signals triggered here. I don't know. Yeah, there is a lot of people still bullish on the timeline. I'm actually kind of surprised. None 4-year cycles never existed. Yeah, the debt thing here too. Yeah. I don't know, boys. We're going to learn a lot here over the next couple of weeks.
I would agree. I think it's 50-50. I think there's a lot of people that will just tell you exactly what Nunya said or some variation of that, right? And I don't think he's wrong. I think what people are saying makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense with there never really was cycles, and we just thought there were cycles, and we attributed that pattern that I was so adamant on. Is like it could be bullshit, right? Like it's at the end of the day, people are right. It's not that much data to go on. It's just we don't have that much else to go on. So in lieu of not having other things, it's like are 3 to 4-year cycles enough to have predictive? No. But what else do we have? We don't have anything else. And I think there's something to be said for that. I think there's something to be said for Nunya. Oh, we got to talk about this chick, dude.
Yeah, let me play this. Hang on. All right. Let's you guys have seen this? I bet you have, but yeah, let's play this real quick. You guys are going to hate my take. Wait. Gravity's saying you can't hear. Can you guys hear that?
I can't hear it. I was gonna tell you afterwards that I think it's maybe something for me being on there, but I can't hear it either, so
Oh, what the
I can
fuck?
give you feedback.
Yeah, hang on then. My bad, guys. Echo. Hang on. I'm gonna
Whatever.
play
Nothing.
What the fuck? Damn, it's all set proper. Echo cancellation. Yeah, weird. It's totally set right here. Wait. Rarebo, you heard it? Rarebo's fucking with me.
No, bro. Everybody in chat says they can't hear it. I can't hear it.
That's super weird. Let me try one more thing. Okay. No sound. All right. You guys can hear us though, right? It's just the video. What a goofball video though. All right. I'm going to try one thing. If it doesn't work, I'm just going to drop the link, you guys. Again, I think you've probably seen it. All right. Share. Also share audio. Yes. Okay. Just the video. Same.
Okay, you know what it sounds like? I can hear certain things, but I can't really hear it. Like I heard the high pitch, like ding. I heard certain things. It sounds kind of like when you're on Spaces on an iPhone, and you don't and you have like a voice isolation mode where like you can only hear certain high frequencies, but you can't hear like lower frequencies. Like it sounds like there's some weird thing like that. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shit. I guess we can't play it. So let's do the TLDR. Is this Zuckerberg's sister?
I have no idea. It's just some woke chicken Web3 back in I don't know when.
It's Mark Zuckerberg's sister. That's who
Is this current? Like, is this like a current take, or is this from like 2022? Because I remember this kind of language in 2022.
Oh,
Maybe
it's old. All right, fuck. I think you got me. I thought it was new too. No, this is from 2022.
Yeah. That makes more sense. But I still have a take on it. I mean, it's not really fucking earth shattering take, but I do have an opinion.
No, give us the take. And so you guys, okay, so the TLDR, this is Mark Zuckerberg's sister coming out and saying, we got to stop using the term whitelist. It's like not inclusive, blah, blah, blah. And she does things. She's got the big brain idea of using terms like the hug list. So instead of whitelist, guys, we got to start moving to pass list is cool. That's fine. Allow list, cool. Hug list is the best, but no more whitelist. So English take.
Well, I don't know if you saw on the timeline also, like there was like Elon pushing the stuff about like the Dungeons and Dragon people and like the Lord of the Rings, where like certain like the dark elves are like inherently evil, but they're just a way of like propagating the idea that dark skin is evil. So like basically the goblins are black people, and if you think that they should be evil, you're racist, like all this crazy shit, right? And it's like it goes into the broader stuff, because I remember this, dude. I remember this in 2022, maybe to a less extent 2023, but definitely in 2023, where I started feeling uncomfortable. Like I have no problems with people being gay, having gay marriages. Do what you want, like be happy, I shouldn't impede. But at the same point, you shouldn't impede on my shit. Like if I don't want to put like in my name, his, him, because I don't really like fuck with that kind of shit. Like I don't care. Like that has nothing to do with my identity, whether I have to use pronouns. But it was kind of this thing, like if you didn't put pronouns in your email, if you didn't put pronouns in your title, then that meant that you weren't for us. So you were automatically like what's the word, a homophobic or anti-transgender if you didn't participate. And this was kind of the shit. It's basically like saying, okay, if you're like World of Women, right, and you don't want to use whitelist, I just use World of Women because it said women here, like that's cool, don't use it because that's part of who you are, right? Like, hey, listen, we're about empowering. We think that whitelist kind of has this weird connotation. Like I shouldn't tell you that that's stupid. Like you should be able to not have a whitelist, but you shouldn't go on there and make other motherfucking people things that if I'm Sugartown and I want to use the word whitelist because I'm a traditionalist, I should use whitelist without being, because like it's stupid, it's retarded. Like all these things where people like have these, they go out of their way to make these takes. And this is what we saw. It was like basically like this twisting of like, if you're not helping us, if you're not proactively helping us in something that you don't care about, you're automatically part of like this evil kind of people that need to be fixed. And
Yeah,
like
you're the enemy, right?
it made me feel really uncomfortable. But I felt really uncomfortable. I remember one time I think I was working for a project and they started leaning that way and saying something about those emails. And if you don't do that, like you'll be fired kind of shit. And I
Yeah.
had this real moral like thing because I really wanted to be part of this project. But I really, really didn't want to fucking participate and pander to like what I knew was kind of like a mind virus.
We don't have that different a take then, right? Because what I was gonna say is I'm like, I get where she's coming from. I don't disagree with her. I hate when people get preachy with it, and I hate the way that they deliver that. Because I'm like, dude, I get it. If we're always associating white with positive and then blacklist or whatever the other side, right, with negative, like I get it. That's something we can all like at least consider, be mindful of. But like where they lose me is when you start preaching and pushing, and then the flip side where they didn't just like tell people or like suggest it became like this fucking army of people pushing, and then you're the bad guy and you're a piece of shit if you don't do what they say, and they lost everybody. Like the intention, the spirit of it, I get it, like cool. Also it's not bad, it's just something that maybe you can like think about. But yeah, they lost everybody with how they did it. And
100%.
that would have been
You
worse if it
you
was
you
now. I thought
remember
this
this.
was now.
You remember this, right? Like in mints, like in 2021, early 2022, there was everybody wanted to be on the whitelist, right? Like I think I don't know if it was Doodles that did the first whitelist because there was a whole bunch of mints. Then people would mint them because it took a week to mint out, and that was cool. But then all of a sudden, all the sneaker flippers that had bots jumped in there, and because every single mint, it didn't really matter, right? Like if you just had an NFT project, because there wasn't like these platforms where you can just where contracts were basically commoditized, right? You need to have a dev that knew Solidity that could write a contract. So it's like if you were able to make a PFP project, it was automatically money, right? And then so people were like, "That's cool. I'll just make bots and I'll just." You didn't even have to discern the mint. You just knew to mint everything. Maybe 1 out of 10 won't hit, but you'll make up for it in the other ones. So then, we came up with the whitelist, and then everybody wanted to be on the whitelist. But then all of a sudden there was like, oh, we want to be on the allow list. That's how it started. It's like, let's not use whitelist. And then it started becoming all these other weird things. But the good thing is that like everything's a pendulum. And it's like, I remember this started happening in Trump's first term. I was living in Ithaca, New York, which, if you know, Ithaca is very progressive. It's like being in like Asheville, North Carolina, or whatever. Just like this kind of like extremely liberal, very artsy. There's some colleges there, and that's when my first BLM kind of thing. And like I didn't have a problem. I didn't want to participate in it. It wasn't my jam, right? Like I didn't think that like I don't think that Black lives don't matter, but I just don't think that like for me personally, as somebody who's not Black, that I have to really give my time and energy to this particular thing. Like it's not my cause. Like I'm happy that you're doing it, and if people listen to it, like that's cool. But I think at the same time, like if you were the type of person that was like, hey, listen, like I think Black lives do matter, and I think all lives matter too. Like, and you say that in a genuine way, like not in an antagonistic way. But then the moment that people like subverted that and they were like, hey, listen, like if you say all lives matter, you're taking away from the Black Lives Movement because that's our shine, right? And it's like, why can't I say that like gay people's lives matter? Why can't I say African lives matter, Europeans lives matter, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's like you're not the only one that's oppressed for whatever reason. And so I think that's really where I come onto it. And I think using that scenario where you had to like write on your title, your pronouns, like I think that's the perfect example. Like I don't care if you write your pronouns. If you send me an email with your pronouns, I'm not going to give you shit about it because like that's pretty whack. But if I write you one without my pronouns, like don't consider me anything other than a normal fucking human being.
Yep. Funny enough, like where like they want people to be responsible with their words. And again, I get it. I'm like on board with it, but like then you got to be responsible with the way you push that whole fucking agenda. Otherwise, you get the blowback, and they're getting the blowback right now, right? Like everybody just it's a reaction. Everybody's just reacting to the other side, and yeah, dude, what a fucking crazy few years that was. What a crazy fucking few. And there was some good out of it too, but holy shit, if they didn't go about it like in a like the worst way you could, I don't know. Cause like I think like the spirit of all that shit was great, but like how they did it, I think they lost everybody.
Well, that's why like there's a lot of people like me, right? Like so I was a Democrat the majority of in college growing up, like there was a time like Joe Rogan says, like there was a time when like the left was like about like equality and not going to war, right? Like, and then all of a sudden it got subverted into like you have to like abide by these weird types of like social like dynamics and power and white is bad and all that stuff. And it's like, no, like that's not what I signed up for. Like I didn't sign up for all of this, you know?
Yeah.
And then I become more conservative, probably because I've had to pay a shitload of taxes too. But but I don't know, man. I say that in jest, but I think right now, um, a lot of the conservatives tend to be a little bit more in the center than some of these people that are on the left. So that's kind of where I looked at it. But
Yep.
before we leave, are we going to? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Hey, if you do you have a question, you got to come on. If you, yeah,
Is that your daughter?
yeah, she's asking if we're going to the pumpkin patch today. I think so. And apple picking. Yeah, yeah, it rained. It's okay. We'll get some pumpkins. We'll go apple picking. It'll be fun. All right. One day I'll get her on here. One freaking day. What do we have to get to?
Oh, I don't know. I always, the reason I tune is not for your like amazing alpha and your amazing takes. I come here for the conspiracy theory topics and content. So I just wanted to know if anything popped in your radar. Can we like, maybe
Yeah.
we can speculate on end of the world, like Marty says, like there's some end of the world type shit. Like
Yeah, two things. Hang on. I want to check if my video yesterday got copyrighted because of a video I played. Let me peek real quick. I bet it did. Actually, so far, no. Hang on. Dude, I can't believe last Sunday's video got views. Like I fucking surprised me. I thought everybody's like fucking gone. All right, hang on. I played a clip yesterday. Yeah, I did get a strike. Yeah, hang on. Not like a bad strike. They make you share revenue, which doesn't matter. I earn a cent. Okay. Revenue sharing. Sorry, I just want to see if it's what I thought it was. Okay. Yeah, let's play the video. Okay. Wait. Before we do conspiracy theory shit, there's like one good thing, and like 3i Atlas is fucking wild. I don't think we've got a lot to get into with that. You're like aware of that thing though? 3i
dude, I
Atlas.
have no idea. So like just to give you some point of reference, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't research conspiracies. So the reason that this is so amazing to me is because I won't do this on my own. But if you like walk me through this and you like hold my hand and say, hey, English, check this out and check this out, I think it's kind of interesting, right? Like I think, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. Like a lot of people, I listen to Joe Rogan and he's kind of popularized this idea of like at least like let's listen to it. So I've heard enough from Joe Rogan kind of things that he brings on these people about like ancient civilizations and what's under the Egypt, and there used to be an advanced race here, whether it was us, we got destroyed 2 or 3 times. So I've had enough taste of like conspiracy theories that like it whets my appetite when I hear other people. I won't go research it on my own. Like I'd rather go to the gym or like lose money on like some crypto bullshit,
Oh, nice. You heard enough. You're like on board with some of the stuff you're hearing though, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. If it's already within my schedule, like I scheduled this time to hang out with you guys to listen to your show, same way I scheduled time to listen to podcasts. If it's already within like my schedule, I love it. So
you schedule that shit.
Everything in my life is scheduled. So like I have like a 2-hour run or hour and a half run, and that's when I listen to my podcast. I listen to your show. I have certain shows that I listen to in the morning. Then I go to the gym. Yeah.
Dude, that's so interesting. Cause like I'm always trying to like self-improve when I've been doing so
You don't
bad
have
at
a
it.
routine?
No, and I'm like, dude, the biggest step you could take to like level up what you're doing is everything on the calendar, everything. Your breaks, when you sleep, like fucking
It's
everything.
1,000% the way I live. I wake up, I have certain shows that I listen to, so I start off with the Modern Market, go on to Easy's show, then I go to Bodago's, and then I go to FOMO Hour. And while I'm doing that, I'm doing all like any kind of Web3 related stuff, checking my emails, checking my appointments. So like that's my time there. Then I'll go to the gym. Oh, before that, I do my morning run. So I do my morning run, then I do all that. Then I go to the gym, and then I have Alpha Coast show, which I listen to, that's a Spaces. And then I'm just doing whatever the fuck I want, whether it's walking on the beach, whether that's like my relaxed time. Then I'll have an hour or two of like shows, whether that's Netflix or whatever, and then I go to sleep. So yeah, you owe somebody money here because you used the word blowback. So
I said blowback. I didn't say
blowback. It wasn't me, or maybe it was me. Fuck.
Mike, you're gonna have to give us the timestamp because I it's not like a word I say. Blowback. Did I say blowback, dude? I can hear me saying it, but I don't say blowback. Maybe.
Anyways, long story short, I'm here for the content. So if you have any new conspiracy theories or
dude,
I'm here for it.
Shit slowed down, so there's nothing. So we'll do 3i Atlas real quick, and then we're gonna watch the Age of Disclosure trailer. I think it's called. We got to watch that trailer. That's coming out, dude, next month. It's in like 3 weeks, and it looks. It's like controlled, like fucking like Disclosure is exactly what it is, but it looks like it's a big one, like a big one. But dude, real quick, are you bullish at all on Yuga Labs? Like, I don't mean like even the price of NFTs or anything like that, but like their announcement at 8 Fest and who's performing at it, I thought was like the coolest thing they've done in years. Like out of everything they've done, Ape Chain and whatever, like that's fucking amazing, dude. What do you think?
Well, here I'll give you my take on Yuga. I don't know that I can speak to that specifically because I don't know. But I will go circle back to Henry's point where you can do the coolest things and nobody gives a fuck, right? So it doesn't really matter how cool it is. My biggest thing with Yuga, I think the value comes from the provenance of being like the first NFT collection. Like I understand CryptoPunks and there's other technically NFTs that were even before CryptoPunks, but there wasn't like a real community, it wasn't in the zeitgeist, right? There was no NFT in the zeitgeist before punks in a real way, like that was significant. And really it was like, to a certain extent, like it was really like the apes that made PFPs like really in the zeitgeist, like in a way that punks were more niche. It's like, oh, you heard about these digital things and they're worth whatever, but like everyone knew what a Bored Ape was. People wanted them. There was the Jimmy Kimmels. So there's something to be said for that. And I think there's something to be said for having a charismatic leader. And I think not Garga, but
Gordon Goner.
Yeah, Gordon, dude. I think he's just, bro. I think he's the best fucking shit poster, like that, bar none. I think he's like, I don't even think Udi's as good as fucking shit posting as they're like. I think Udi's good. He's fantastic. He's smart. He's witty. But I think Gordon's just the fucking bomb. Like he's like there. So I think the values there is in the provenance. I think in like that edgy kind of culture. But like what happened was, and this is not a hot take, I think most people agree with this, that what was cool about them is they were counterculture, right? They were counterculture to punks. And it's like, okay, this is like the new thing on the block. Like punks is what everyone knows has value. We're going to make this like the antithesis of that. And then it became really like this like mainstream thing where people hated the counterculture because the counterculture thing became it. So it's like, where do you find your identity after that? And I think it's weird because I think we're in a place where people don't care about that. The people care about the edginess. That's why like Miladies like were the counter to like punks in a weird way. And then I just think NFTs are not that hot. I think Bored Apes probably have a much more enduring value than a lot of other NFT projects. They have money. I think they can do cool things. I think there's enough people that made a fucking shit ton of money in 2021 off of Bored Apes to keep caring about it no matter what the price is. I think whoever the CEO is, Garga or whatever, will do cool fucking, activations. I think the other side might flop in a way, but maybe they'll work on that and that'll be like the foundation of something cool in 5-10 years. So I think it's bright. Would I buy a Bored Ape? No, like there's just at no price point does it really make sense anymore, like for any NFT.
Dude, here's even the like the easier question or what I'm looking for. Like this announcement, I'll just say for me, this was the most on brand like ape thing.
Well, what's the announcement? I don't even know what it is.
Oh, dude, on the screen, they announced at 8 Fest, performing at 8 Fest, Big Boy, Clips, Kodak Black, and the other two I don't think matter, but that to me is the vibes that have been missing there fucking forever. Just like,
what I love about it is like at least the first two people are people that only boomers would really care about because that's the only people that own Bored Apes, right? Like us people 35, 40 year plus. And it's like, oh, Big Boy and Clips, like fuck yeah, dude. I would love to see Big Boy and Clips for sure.
That to me, I'm like, they hit a home run there, and like they haven't hit any home runs, I think, in the past couple. Like the blockchain man and other side and Trop Trader, and like nothing they've done has done any. It doesn't make me feel anything. And like If it's just me not feeling it, who cares? But I'm like, dude, if it's me, it's other people. I know for fucking sure. So this they did. I'm like, pretty fucking awesome, guys. Like,
And where's that, in Vegas?
in Vegas, and it's in like a week. And I'm like, dude, if they can stack things like that, dude, maybe they're back on track. Maybe like that's the shit they've been missing. And Luna, dude, Kodak Black is massive. He's like that next generation, right? So like, I don't listen to him. I'm big boy clips. I love that shit. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we're the
Kodak
old
Black is
school.
huge.
Yeah, like I went to the Miami Mutant, and I know it's not Ape Fest, and they don't put that much emphasis, but they had like ASAP Ferg in there. Like they didn't even have ASAP Rocky. Like they didn't have any pull. And like when you go from like Eminem and fucking and Snoop Dogg to fucking ASAP Ferg, like it's like it says something. So I think the fact that they've got some more marquee people, I think it's a positive thing. But
Yeah.
again, it goes like with what Henry's saying, like it doesn't matter. Like even if you make the dopest, metaverse type thing in the other side, even if you deliver whatever you're delivering, it doesn't move price. Like nobody fucking cares. They're like, all right, cool. Like doesn't mean I want to buy the NFT. Like you buy the NFT because you have FOMO, because other people are doing it, because tastemakers, believe it or not, like nobody wants to admit it, but like there's like these weird edgy people, and they adopt things before other people do. Like if you saw like Kook for existence was one of the first OMB people. Like he had OMBs when OMBs were $2,000 or $3,000, and DeGods were like $10,000 or more, actually, because they were 9 or 10 ETH. ETH was like 2,000, so like $20,000-$30,000 DeGods. And he was one of the first people to floor his red eyes. And it was like, in that time, like it was really taboo. Like you were not supposed to sell your red or blue eyes. Like you would make money off your red or blue eyes, but you don't sell. And it was because it was still really cool. And he's like, what he said was, he's like, I bought this when nobody cared about it. That's why I bought it. Now that everyone thinks it's the shit, that means that this is the top guys. And then everybody gave him shit because it did another 2x after he sold. And he's like, oh, you were wrong, you little paper hand bitch. He sold his red eyes for 1.5 Bitcoin. Sure, it went to 2-3 Bitcoin at one point, and only a few sales, right? But what do they go for now? 0.3, 0.25. So when you ask me, am I bearish or bullish on Yuga? I'm not bearish on Yuga because of anything that's inherent to them, to their activations, to their roadmap, to their members, to their art. Like I think they're doing everything they can. It's just the nature of the beast. Like,
yeah, doesn't move the needle. But
doesn't move the needle. Yeah.
vibe wise, like keep that shit up. They got merch coming. They got the BMW partnership, but like they've done that always. But like stack that with performances and just cool exclusive shit. Like, come on, that's good shit.
Like I love Kongs, man. I love Kongs. Your brother Henry was my first person that I looked up to in the space in a substantial way, and also one of the first people that, yeah, exactly, a lot of pee touching. No, he wasn't. That's just what it is. And I looked up to the Kongs, and I always had this thing, I want to have one. So if I buy a Kong, if I buy a Jenny Kong, it's not because I think they're going to do something that's going to move the price. Like if the price goes up, that's cool. It's just because I want one, man. I just think it's cool. I think it's cool that I wanted one 4 years ago and I couldn't afford one. Obviously it was $300K and now it's not, so like that helps. And plus I have more money. But if I buy one, it's because I like it and I like it, not because I think it's a good vehicle that's going to 2 or 3x my money.
Good take. All right. I just realized like the audio is probably not going to work again, but it's worth the shot. So let me try this, and I'm going to unshare to try to fix this shit. Boom. So, okay, what we're looking at, you haven't seen this, right? Age disclosure trailer? I'm thinking not. Sorry if you guys...
Sorry, I was looking at the Jenny Kong floor. Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to play this. Guys, like, just tell me in chat right away if you don't hear the audio, because I'm going to hear it on this side. Shit. All right.
That came through on my end, so I'm able to hear it.
God damn it, dude.
No, it does work. It does work.
Oh, it did?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
We've had repeated instances of something operating in the airspace over restricted nuclear facilities, and it's not ours.
These are otherworldly things that are performing maneuvers that haven't been seen.
I have seen with my own eyes non-human craft and non-human beings.
This is so secret. There have been very few people in our entire government that have been allowed or provided access to it.
Even presidents have been operating on a need-to-know basis. But that begins to ramp out of control.
It's not acceptable to have secret parts of government that no one ever sees. People have been hurt protecting and hiding this information.
Some people claim it would cost them their lives if they spoke out about these things.
You had information being locked away that could change the trajectory for species.
This is the biggest discovery in human history.
Pretty cool. But like, okay, really fucking cool.
Is that on Netflix?
No, it's gonna be in theaters, like in New York, Chicago.
Oh, so it's a big production.
It's half and half, so it'll be just in there, like select release kind of thing, and then it's gonna be on Amazon Prime, I think, at the same time. So we'll all get to watch do stream and watch it, guys.
We should watch it together, and you'll get banned.
But dude, okay, awesome. Also, it seems bullshitty because like if it's that big of a deal, why the fuck are you putting out a documentary? And like it's not like an official US government documentary, but also like if that's all real, why aren't you doing a press conference? Or like why does it come out via fucking documentary with Marco Rubio and these big names on it? Like it really fucking weird. Like really.
Well, I think because it's one of those conspiracy theory unknown phenomenon, whatever you want to describe it, that has had so many like people have their own version of it recently that they have enough content to make a documentary, if that makes sense. Like I don't know that there's that many, like there's, and it's one of I know I'm gonna keep going back to Joe Rogan, but I do think he affects public perception in a big way. Like that's one of his big fascinations. So he repeatedly brings on people. So like maybe there's other topics that have just as many backers of this, but because he's brought so many of those into the forefront, there's just like that many people you can go to and make a documentary. And I think there's an appetite for this. So I don't know that it's because it's like this specific, we have like the lowdown on it. There's just enough content and enough appetite to make entertainment around it at the end of the day. And like when we're looking into this, right, when we're looking into conspiracy theories, like at the end of the day, we're not trying to be like, aha, like my gut is right. But you're just trying to be entertained. It's fun. Like it's fun to think about. Like before I thought there was like a 1 to 2% chance this was true. And now after watching this, I think there might be like a 15 to 20% chance. And like that journey in of itself is kind of cool and fun to do. And that's why people watch it. It's not because this is a documentary that it's like, okay, after you watch this, we have enough proof to say definitively. No, it's entertainment, right? It's just to kind of like indulge in some kind of like weird thing that everybody does, you know?
Yeah. All right, so we got that coming. Should be interesting. What I hope that is I hope it is more part of like, like disclosure, like a big push for that. So I'm hoping there's just more shit that comes after it, like that. It's like the start of like this big old, like the floodgates bursting open, and it kind of started a couple years ago. Okay, but that kind of ties into, again, we're not going to go deep into conspiracy theories today because there's just not a ton, but there are a couple things. 3i Atlas. Anyone who doesn't know, I think everybody knows, but it's a comet. We don't know exactly what it is, but it is basically a comet, a space rock. It's coming from another solar system, which doesn't happen much, or it happens a lot and we've never been able to track them. That's the other idea there. But this big old space rock coming from a whole other fucking galaxy or some shit. And it's behaving really differently. As in, and this is the latest as of like even a day or two ago. Dude, okay, comet has a tail because it's like solar winds pushed gases off the back of it, right? Or it starts emitting gas because of its interaction with the solar winds. This has a tail that's facing the sun, which is super fucking weird. We've never seen it before. Picture a comet where like the tail is going in front of it. So there's still speculation that it is like not natural, like that it's actually like a ship or something, and maybe it is after that, like
when is it projected to reach Earth or the moon or whatever?
So it just passed Mars. It's now behind the sun, and what's interesting about it is the course it's on. The course it's coming into our solar system. It passes very close to Mars, very close to, I want to say like Venus. There's two planets that it passes very close to. and it passes actually close to Earth. But when it gets its closest to us, like it emerges from behind the sun, so we can't track it at all when it's behind the sun. We can't see it. So like everyone's like the track it's on is super, like the probability of this course, if we're like looking at it from the lens of is it a threat to us, it's the perfect course it could take to then, like track these other planets and then get towards us.
Is there any conversation that it's like the trajectory is also like perfect for being like shady or covert? Like if you wanted to be covert, you would go behind the sun because then it would give us a blind spot for X amount of time.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. This comes after a few years ago. Again, whatever it was called, the Uamu thing, which they think was a scout ship. They still think that because it actually started moving faster, which it shouldn't do. It's going against, like behavior we would expect. It moved faster. They almost think it had like a light sail, which is fucking fascinating. So they're like, now this coming, it's the second.
That makes sense. That makes sense from a physics standpoint. It's either going to be the same speed or it's going to come across some kind of friction, which there's not much of in space. But if you are going to have some kind of friction, to have something accelerate would mean that you have some kind of thing that's propelling it, right?
Yeah.
Pushing it. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Weird, right? It went fast, and it's not like we think it's like they measured it. It absolutely happened. So they're like, that might have been a scout ship, and they're like, is this a scout ship or is this something else? And, it looks like a rock and they're measuring it and they know what it's composed of. It's composed of, I think, nickel is in this thing too. And they can tell by measuring the gases that come off it. And they're like, well, again, if it's nickel, I'm obviously not an expert, but like nickel doesn't occur like organically. It's a kind of combination of a couple metals, something like that, where they're like, even what's made it up is not like purely like natural. So it's just super weird. We're watching it in the next like 2 months, I think, is when it emerges from the other side of the sun. And so we'll see. But then there's the conspiracy theory. This came from like Jeremy Corbell. He's like, they're going to tell us, and he's like, we've known this for a while. They're going to tell us that a spaceship is coming towards Earth and that it's a threat. And he's like, and that is coming in, I think he said 2027, something like that. So,
is that the same guy that said it was also bullshit and it was just a divert? Yeah, he said you're going to be told this, but you shouldn't believe it because they're just trying to divert your attention about X or whatever that's really happening.
Exactly that. So just interesting stories. I think the most interesting story, you might have caught this maybe a month ago. We talked about it here, but Skywalker, I think it's just called Skywalker. These former, actually, they're still military guys, like very high level, like Black Ops kind of shit. Do you remember when they had that documentary where the guy like retrieved that egg-looking spaceship? Do you remember this like maybe 6-8 months ago, earlier this year?
I remember watching a documentary that had some kind of thing that some kind of organization called Skywalker that was part of it.
Yeah.
So I definitely remember that. I don't remember exactly what it was about, but I do remember. Yeah.
Well, dude, they haven't done a video. They put out one after. They were supposed to put out a third, and it wasn't supposed to take super long, right? Wait, is that real? There was supposed to be a third in the series, and it was just supposed to be about like what was it? What's the fucking word? Not telepathy, but psionics.
So telekinesis is able to move physical objects with your mind. Telepathy would be to read people's mind.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And then psionics, I don't even know like the definition, why so different. But they were supposed to put out a video explaining how it works and what, and they didn't. And then we heard about 2 months ago, the reason why is they had a successful like landing, a craft landing. They used their psionics dudes, and they actually got so they like call out, they connect to a ship, and they actually got one to land with somebody from NASA present. And they've got all the data, they've got all this stuff. I hope they have footage and shit, but supposedly that's coming really soon too. Like that video is actually coming. They delayed it and made everybody sign NDAs, and they might even like dissolved Skywalker because they got what they wanted, right? They got the data they needed, so they're kind of done. But they all signed NDAs, and apparently that video is coming really soon. So timing interesting with all this disclosure stuff ramping back up, and maybe we see a craft and we get like I hope footage, but we'll get data on it. So.
Yeah, psionics is just the field of study of that. So it's like a paranormal type of thing. So like if somebody has telekinesis or telepathy, that would be in the field of psionics is kind of the thing. So it's just basically being able to use your mind to manipulate or understand without interacting with the physical world in the way that we know it.
Such cool shit. I think that's it, boys. We're going pumpkin picking. By the way, if you guys ever go pumpkin picking, I got to tell you dudes, hang on. If you go pumpkin picking, get the white pumpkins, bro. Get the white pumpkins. Very on brand for today's show. But dead serious. What have you ever had a white pumpkin? Like ever had one? Like
I haven't, but I wanted some, not to front run you, but I wanted some apple alpha because I lived in upstate New York and it was a really big thing to go apple picking. And I never did it. I just, I don't know. I was too busy on Adderall and Klonopin at that time in my life to really actually do it. Like it's something I would totally do now, but I lived there for 10 years and I do plan to visit sometime. And like, I was always told like apple picking in the fall is like one of the best things you could do, like the cool breeze and like, I don't know, whatever. There's some kind of thing. So I haven't had a white pumpkin, but if you have any apple picking alpha, I'll take that.
Dude, I don't know if I have alpha other than they're my favorite thing on this earth besides pizza. It's apples. Up here, I'm out in the like Chicago burbs, right, guys? So it's like pumpkin picking season. It's apple picking season. Where's my fucking post, dude? I learned of white pumpkins last year. So we go to the pumpkin patch and fuck, do we have it? Oh yeah, here we go. We go to the pumpkin patch. I see a white pumpkin. I don't remember ever seeing one before. I'm like, that I want that. And I got it. Dude told me the seeds are different. Dude, they're very different. And they're the best fucking pumpkin seeds I've ever had. Like pumpkin seeds are green. They're way crunchier. And like, I'm trying to think how to describe them. They're way different from a normal pumpkin seed. And like now I only want those pumpkin seeds. They're so fucking good. So I'm going to go to town today on white pumpkins. I'm not going to get one. I'm going to get as many as I can and cook up those fucking seeds. So good. And then apples, I hope it's Honeycrisp season, dude. I'm ready to go to town in that orchard, dude. This is the best time of year. Fall picking. Nice and cool outside, hanging with the kiddos and shit. Like I'm excited for today, man.
I like hard apples, like ones that are not softer but harder, and I like the more tart the better, which is why I like Granny Smith. But anything that's tart and crispy, give me tart and crispy apples.
I'm with you there. Got to be crunchy. I like both. I like the Honeycrisp super sweet and juicy, but like really crisp, right? Like it's got to be a crunchy apple. And then I do like super tart. I even like the little crab apples a lot. Those are awesome. But I like that shit. There we go. We'll wrap up here. Dude, I love getting you on here. That was a good chat today.
Well, thanks for having me on. I hope I didn't bore everybody with my cheesy takes, but
never, dude. Never. Fingers fucking crossed for this market. We'll see. Someone's gonna be right, someone's gonna be wrong. Maybe we're all right and wrong equally. We'll see. There we go. Have a great day, guys. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, all that shit. Goodbye.